Development Program. I am one of your two leaders for this first block. My name is Cactus, and joining me is Inky.
Thank you, Cactus. And yeah, this is the first iteration of the Inkling Development Program. I am super excited to be here today, super excited to be a part of this, and I'm looking forward to see how all these sets shake out because all these teams that are playing got a lot of good coaching over the last week, and I'm excited to see sort of the fruits of all the labor.
Absolutely, and it's coaching from across the high level divisions, right? We have teams that are Div 3 pushing Div 2. We have teams that are at the top of the top, Div X. Those who have been to these Splatoon championships have been at the top of Proving Grounds and top of Squid Junctions and so many other fantastic tournaments that are run by the community.
Yeah, and it's just so awesome to see all of these people just coming together to collaborate and make some friendships, make some bonds, and make some memories either while coaching or while playing. And I just can't wait because I've been excited about this ever since I first heard the elevator pitch.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's so funny. I remember getting the random Twitter follow from the main account for this event, and I was like, huh, what is this? And then next thing I know, I get a lovely DM from one of the great members of staff being like, hey, do you want to commentate this up and coming like program we're running? I was like, yes, absolutely, because just the idea of it is incredible. Seeing how the effect that top level teams and players can have on teams that are a little bit lower level or mid level, trying to become one of the best just like them.
Yeah, exactly, and it gives a great, window for people that want to try coaching for the first time to start to actually get into it. And we heard yesterday on the podcast, Numble IHOP talked a lot about, their first experience with coaching, and it seemed like it was relatively positive all around. So I'm hoping to see some of these higher level teams sort of embrace the coaching aspect, and especially if they had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's gotta be probably the main thing, right? Is like how much fun are you gonna be able, or did you have with your coaches being able to talk about anything and everything? But also you have the other side. How serious did some of these coaches get? How serious were some of these teams? Did any of these coaches versus teams have any clashes about certain ways they wanted to take this tourney in a sense? How it's gonna play out? I mean, it's surely gonna be quite the sight to see for us today.
Absolutely, and we have a good amount of sites to see. We're going to be, the way this tournament is going to work is we're going to have 4 rounds of Swiss bracket to separate each of the 24 teams into a gold, silver, and bronze bracket, I believe. 8 teams in each of those brackets, and then they are single elimination once we get there to decide who is going to be, I guess, your Inkling Development Program 1 champion.
Oh, and that's got to be a fun title to have, not only winning the first IDP, but imagine just for both sides, right? Besides the players who are putting in so much effort to actually win this whole thing, but as well as the coaches, the amount of pride they're going to feel for the team they coach, knowing that what the efforts they put in paid off. And, even for those that maybe don't completely bring it all the way home, the progress that these teams might make through this, and maybe like you mentioned before, making those bonds. We could see them being coached in future tournaments for like maybe the next Lowinks or the next SOS or just any other tournament under the sun.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be, I think this tournament is going to have a lot of awesome future implications for the community. It's going to bring a lot of really cool people closer, and going to bring a really cool, amount of exchange of ideas that, like I said yesterday on the podcast, is only going to move the community and the scene forward.
Definitely, and I think a tournament like this is so big and such a great opportunity because for the longest time you've had players struggle to figure out who exactly are they. How can you find these coachings? How can you get the advice from top players? And hopefully this opens up the eyes for many different teams of all calibers to be able to share their knowledge and spread information to help everyone improve, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to grow the community, grow the competitive scene, and everyone get better at of course their own pace, but also just at all times.
Exactly, and with all that being said, we're going to hop right into our first round of groups here being streamed. It's going to be He's Taking Leg versus Mitosis, being coached by She's Giving Leg and Myoptodus, respectively.
Oh, some great top teams. They're coaching these other teams now. For those wondering what the original team teams that are being they're actually playing. We have for He's Taking Leg, originally OG team named the Whiperays, and then we have for Mitosis being coached by my opposite, it's Div Y, who currently doesn't really have an OG Div yet, and I think that's the more exciting part of this because who knows where they're gonna come out from here.
Yeah, not everyone entered into Ludi, so we can finally, gauge a bit of skill levels. The Whip Race has been a Div 17, or is a Div 17 that has just been slowly but surely climbing through the ranks and is honestly one of my more favorite teams to watch personally. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table, and I'm excited to see what Div Y is going to bring in response. But we're going to get things started in these round 1 maps on Hagglefish Splat Zones. Cactus, what are some of your thoughts here?
Hagglefish on with zone, such a great map for it. It's very flat. You have the two flanks on both sides of the wings, and we're gonna see what these teams are gonna bring out for their comps to see what they might use to hold this zone for the full amount of time and hopefully get their way to a KO.
Yeah, we're seeing he take leg, pulling out that range blaster right away on the spot zones. Not something you see often. And Mitosis running a backless comp with the CDS as the sort of pseudo inker. So both these teams running backless on Hagglefish zones. Definitely not something I expected.
Definitely not, especially because of we know how well certain backlines like Splatlings or especially Chargers can fare on this map mode with the tents and where the zone is located. And of course, some lower positioning would be great for them. And starting off right away, we're getting a nice double with a bomb and Azuka to finish off for a full wipeout for Mitosis. What an excellent job there, and they are wasting no time pushing forward, taking all sides of that end for He Take Leg.
Yeah, Mitosis got a great opening team fight, but the Zuka's already coming out from He Take Leg. Gets that pick on the bucket, and Sofa's starting to move forward here. Gets the pick on Ari as well. That beacon is taken out as well, which is going to be a huge thorn in the side of Mitosis, but He Take Leg has not quite been able to make an impact on the zone itself because of all the short-range offenses that they're playing. Tri-Strikes are coming just to break them out of their plat, but you'd really like the Tri-Strikes for making an impact on the zone. Another Zuka's coming out, gets one pick, but He Take Leg is 2 down themselves and is just this shot. Forced retreat as the zone timer continues to take toward knockout.
That's 3 players that delayed wipe, but a bit of a stagger going down for He Take Leg and Mitosis with only 3 points left to go. What an excellent pick there by the CDS secures them a full KO for this first game, doing an excellent job of locking out He Take Leg of this map. Just doing an excellent job of being pretty much everywhere I want when needed to be.
Yeah, Mitosis did an absolutely fantastic job there, both in that opening team fight and in just that hold of the zone. They were just able to accurately call out where He Take Leg wanted to drop into mid and just able to swarm all the members at once. And even the few that were able to get through and get some picks just got picked by the rest of the team in the end. So very well played, very nice game plan from Mitosis there.
Yeah, definitely. And if, for He's Taking Leg, if they're looking at this, 1 game down, you still have 2 more to try to get this first group round on your hand. As the next match we're going to be looking at, it's going to be Rainmaker on Undertow, a very long map, very open, very, spy in the middle, a lot of ups and downs on the sides, and with 2 very far apart alternating options for the first checkpoint. Of course, we know both are great options after you get there of walkways that you can't really paint on. Just gotta hope you can push yourself up there to get even more points.
Yeah, I mean, if either of these teams have an ink vac, on those uninkable areas is a great place to pop a vac just because it is incredibly hard to contest. You can't even paint the feet at that point. But yeah, Undertow, definitely one of the more prominent Rainmaker maps. It's definitely one of my personal favorites. But it is kind of hard to get some points started in the beginning, especially because on that left side, it takes so long to actually get points going. And that left side is your safest push option and where you want to go if you want to continue a push. So it is kind of difficult to get anything substantiated in the beginning, but if a team can get a strong opening team fight, then I think that can bode really well for them in the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I do want to poke a little bit more about what you said there when it comes to getting those first few points at the beginning. It ultimately does come down to if these teams are pretty evenly matched, who's able to find the larger opening and the larger advantage, whether that be having 2 players down, whether that be chaining your specials to push that Rainmaker further, or in a sense, we've seen it before, even top level play, being able to juke out the enemy team, make them think you're bringing it one way and then snaking it away to another just to get a sneaky little checkpoint, which is totally shots, but what we could very well see here as we start loading in to this game number 2.
Yeah, game 2 between He Take Leg and Mitosis, also known as the Whip Raise versus Div Y. Mitosis is up 1-0. Looks like He Take Leg is going to be swapping out one of their T-Techs for a V-Shot, and Mitosis going to be sticking with their guns all the same. Let's see who get this opening pop.
As they both rush down there, I do love the idea of the double V-shot, but it does put them a little bit of a range disadvantage. They're going to maybe opt to have more of a paint output, and what a great job it does so far off the bat. Getting that Rainmaker pop right away to get one player down. As we see here, they're trying to close in on that right side. All the players of Mitosis being trapped on that right side, but one of their shots does go down. Looks like a trade on the map. And 2 players are going to switch down for He Take Leg. Mitosis very quickly trying to switch this around. It's just a brawl in mid.
Yeah, that's for sure. Zuka is popped, going to get a little bit of damage on this bucket, and the teammate is able to get that assist there at the end. So He Take Leg has the numbers advantage. They have a ton of control in mid. All of Mitosis is sort of corralled in the back, but Cuber is just running it left by themselves. Finally, the teammates are coming, but they get trying to battle Ari. It's just this Rainmaker alone now, and almost certainly going to go down. Yeah, only 10 points were gained on that, all that distance traveled, and that is a ton of map control for Mitosis in return.
Absolutely, and all of their specials online as well. They pop the cooler, they pop the chums, Zuka as well to follow suit. What a great chain of specials, and they're able to get one of the V-shots down, but their slosher player is going to go down as well. It's going to be a tricky situation here, but Mitosis is able to get 2 of those picks down, seeing they can try to push this Rainmaker past mid as the Zuka is popped for He Take Leg to see if they can at least slow it down just a little bit, which they are doing a great job at.
Yeah, absolutely. Mitosis has just been doing such a phenomenal job at using their specials and coordinating with each other, and I mean, they've been able to leverage it really well. Only the Range Buster left for He Take Leg, but they get the pick on the Rainmaker all the same. Range Buster is trying to run away to safety, but this Rainmaker is in a very good spot for Mitosis if they can just get this pop, because they're not all that far up from getting both the lead and the checkpoint. Maker is popped, and it should be grabbed relatively shortly as 4 on this bucket. Trying to move forward, trying to get some picks. Does get taken down, but that is still going to be the checkpoint for Mitosis here.
Oh, and a wipeout to follow after for He Take Leg. And look how quickly Eon is moving forward with Fish from behind, seeing if they could try to go in and paint a path, but get called out, picked off immediately. And this puts them at a quick 3v4 disadvantage as they have to try to build up their specials, wait for their one player to come back in. But with Mitosis already cooled up, it's going to be a lot trickier than they expect.
Yeah, right now it's just a bit of an all-out brawl in mid. He Take Leg trying to push forward. Eon is coming in on this right side, but they get the trade with the bucket, and the Rainmaker goes down behind enemy ranks, and it's just Fish on this shot being the last player alive. All of Mitosis is up, getting the pop on the Rainmaker, and they have that they have the Tri-Strike charge, and they're close to getting some more super jumps online as well. The DS does go a little too far forward. They do get called out by He Take Leg, but Mitosis is in a phenomenal spot to just continue to stall at this Rainmaker right now. Nice trade on the right side of the map, and the Rainmaker gets taken down as well.
Yeah, Mitosis is doing such a great job at basically holding their ground, if you want to call it, dare I say, a wall of defense they put on, forcing the members of He Take Leg to just really not have a very well put together push. Every time they try to go in, one of their players goes down to either a trade or just gets picked off, because Mitosis is just relentlessly going in and getting these picks, as we see a great push from the side there, getting 2, getting 3! Just 1 V-shot left, it's just Fish on the defensive side, having to fall back.
That was a beautiful triple by that Zap player, and Mitosis is going to take that all the way to the bank. Ari here with this Rainmaker, holding strong, holding onto it, just trying to put all the pressure on the right side. Gonna shift course and go onto the left as 4 is already trying to hold down the front lines with that slosher, but they're out of ink. Eon is rushing them with that tri-slosher, and at this point, Mitosis is just trying to stay alive, get all the points they can. Only the 2 shots left. They both have Zuka, and one of them is going to be popped, but this Rainmaker is going to go along that graded path and just try and score a few more points, as many as possible. Down now, below 30. 28 is the final marker before the Zuka gets that pick.
I mean, wow, I said it before the match started, but being able to just apply so much pressure on one side and be able to flank after to try to trick out your enemy team is exactly what Mitosis did there for such an incredible push. And just 4 doing an excellent job, but we saw there just stalling out for so long. That fancy squirrel at the end to just barely stay alive. I mean, this team is putting on so much pressure, and with only 30 seconds left on the clock, He Take Leg has a mountain to climb.
Yeah, He Take Leg has so much to get through. They have to get through that first checkpoint and has to get it all the way down to 27. And at this point, it's just the Rainmaker and the shot alive. Another just respawn, but Ari's going right for that Rainmaker. Gets the pick with 15 seconds to go. 3 dead on the side of He Take Leg. Grant does go down to a well-thrown Suction Bomb by Soda on that Rainmaker, but He Take Leg has 6 seconds to pick up this Rainmaker and stay alive. But Soda gets a nice Zuka pick, and we are going to be entering overtime. Eon staying alive, but it's just them and the Range Blaster alone now. Ari's coming right for the Rainmaker and gets the pick. Mitosis up 2-0.
Wow, what an incredible game by Mitosis. Just applying that constant pressure, not letting up for even a second. Every time, even when they were at a player disadvantage, they were able to just apply, whether it was bomb pressure, whether it was just the range pressure. They were just always causing trouble for He's Taking Leg, making it almost impossible for them to just get even out of mid, because the furthest they were able to push was right at the beginning, up to only 90 points.
Yeah, I mean, Mitosis just played that absolutely amazingly. Their special usage and coordination was absolutely top notch, and they were just able to cooler cycle very effectively, and the Dually Squelchers was able to place really good beacons to give good jumps back. So flawless game plan from Mitosis, executed really well. But this is a play all 3 group stage. That means the third map is going to be played for some seeding purposes, and it's going to be happening on TC Mako Mart.
Oh, TC Makomar, what a great map mode combination, and one that actually might benefit He's Taking Leg here. We see that they're very strong in holding in that range blaster, and as well as bringing out this Tri-Slosher they had before. I think this could be a great advantage for them to at least take one game in this Swiss round.
Yeah, I mean, as an Entry and range player, I think TC Mako Mart is one of the best maps in the game for both of those weapons, so I would imagine Whip Race is going to be, or sorry, He Take Leg is going to be eating right here. But Mitosis has just shown to be so strong in their game plan and has shown to be very synergistic with how they play with each other and around each other. So I don't know. I could see this going either way here in this game 3.
Absolutely. I think it's going to ultimately come down to who can apply the most pressure, who can force the enemy team into a stagger. And so far, from what we've been seeing, Mitosis has been doing an excellent job at that. But for all we know, He's Taking Leg could surprise us and pull out all the stops and just have the momentum they need to secure, if not a very strong lead, the potential of a KO to win this one last game of this first round.
Yeah, I mean, as Mitosis has shown, once that snowball starts rolling, it is very hard to stop them. And we're going to see how He Take Leg is going to respond to that here and now. Game 3, final game of this round of groups. Looks like He Take Leg going back to their game 1 comp, and Mitosis keeping it absolutely the same, not deviating from what's been working.
Yep, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and Mitosis isn't planning on splitting any cells to change their comp. So far, a fight for mid here as He's Taking Leg with the aggression, but immediately gets picked off. What a great pick there. 2 players down, shooing away the last 2 in the corner, and it's just 1 V-Shot player left on He's Taking Leg. Mitosis has such great map control right now of control of those stacks, and they're trying to push this tower ever so slightly forward.
Yeah, Mitosis in that opening team fight did such a good job at forcing 2v1s and advantageous scenarios for them. But look, they are stalled this first checkpoint. Tri-Strike's going to come out, and that's going to be Mitosis getting wiped out by He Take Leg before they can even get points on that first checkpoint. And Mitosis only 3 up versus 4 right now, and that Tactical is laid down. Cuber trying to put pressure with this Range Blaster, as are the Tri-Strikes, and He Take Leg has the lead and are threatening to break this first checkpoint, and there it falls with the Range Blaster getting another pick for their troubles.
He Taking Leg using that advantage they had of the wipeout just to secure a first checkpoint, which is huge. It's exactly what they needed. Now it just comes down to, can they hold this short lead? Because while it's a comfortable one, it is not a final one. It's just at any moment with any kind of momentum Mitosis might be able to get, they might just push in and claim that in no time if they can't have that player advantage. And right off the bat, as I say, a commentator curse there, I call it, 2 players go down, make it 3. Close to a full wipeout as they find the final player as they emergency pop a cooler for themselves, trying to stay alive, and that's going to be the first checkpoint cleared in no time for Mitosis.
And Mitosis is going to get that lead back swiftly thereafter, 60-61, but they are still pushing. Grant is going to be the tower rider here as all of Mitosis is rushing right, but Grant gets taken out behind them. This Range Blaster trying to get the pick on full with the help of the shot, and that is going to be them taken down. It is just the Zap player left for Mitosis. They are putting in work, getting a nice pick, hopping back on the tower, finally getting taken down, but they give their teammates a lot of time to respawn back in, and now Eon trying to dodge the Zuka, trying to dodge all the enemy fire, and they're forced to back up a little bit. Throws Cooler in a bit of an awkward spot. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for the teammates to capitalize off of.
Oh, absolutely, especially since they were all just, like we see here, just in tricky situations. Mitosis just had so much ground covered, so much paint control, that really made it hard for He Take Leg to try to push it off of that. This tower now going to ride its way to the second checkpoint. We see the players of He Take Leg try to get into defensive positions. It's going to be a trade-off right there on the left stack. They get 2 players down to 2v2 on the map, make that a 2v1. It is just a Slosher trying to stall for time as they see they're trying to get a pick here. Can they get it? Yes, they will! Incredible 1v1 there for 4.
Yeah, 4 just able once again to give the enemy or give their teammates enough time to respawn and regroup in this team fight, and it's already going amazing for them on the right side. 2 go down, and the third is going to jump out, and it's just I believe the V shot on the right side of the stack, but they're forced to back up just a little bit as Mitosis once again has control of the tower. And it should be said, every time Mitosis touches the tower, they get a little bit of special charge, a little bit of passive special charge every second, and that is absolutely massive for them. Already have 3 specials online, and that bucket is going to be respawning very quickly.
You know, it's so incredible just how quickly, like you said, with the tower, getting that little bit of special points, how quickly they just be able to build those specials up and just use them so accordingly. I mean, they have a great synergy when it comes to using their specials to get all these players of He's taking a leg down. And once again, with 1:30 left on the clock, Mitosis in control of the tower, in control of mid, and He's taking a leg needs to try to find the picks here with their specials to try to push the remaining players of Mitosis out if they can.
Yeah, 4 gets a little too aggressive, gets caught up by 2 members of He Take Leg and gets taken down. But right now, Zuka's being popped in mid. Only going to be a trade. He Take Leg really needed that pick. Grant's going to throw it on another cooler for the teammates, and you got to imagine they're a big fan of that. Blaster gets taken down. Trades are happening all in mid, but mid control is still firmly in favor of Mitosis. Fish is just getting absolutely harassed by this checkpoint. Going to be throwing down the tri-strikes to try and just delay whatever push from the tower, but they get taken down, swimming into a bomb. And Mitosis has such a firm amount of control on this map. 45 seconds left, and He Take Leg is going to need a miracle if they want to take this game.
Oh my goodness, Ari with a beautiful Zuka shot on the side, and then here comes the Chubs ready by Vic, but the Zuka gets a beautiful double on the side of He's Taking Leg as now Sofa tries to rush in, help their teammate Eon in mid and get a couple picks, and that they will. Grant able to get 1, they're looking for 2, they get a second, can they get a third? They're going for the try, they are so close, and they get it with a nice trade off on the end, making the last player of He's Taking Leg have to back up. 10 seconds left to go on the clock. The map is covered for Mitosis right now. He Taking Leg, like you said, needs a miracle to break out of this.
Yeah, and with 5 seconds left to go, that miracle is going to have to come here and now. And it looks like they are going to touch the tower. Overtime has started, and 2 members of Mitosis go down immediately. This is exactly what He Take Leg needs. 3 are down. It's just the V shot, probably close to Azuka. Soda is thrown, but 2 go down immediately on He Take Leg. Tower is moving down into the 50s, into the 40s. Is this what they need? 43, 2, 1, and they take the lead by 1 point. He Take Leg gets the miracle and gets the game.
Oh my goodness, things look so dangerous there at the last second with a player of Mitosis flanking from behind, getting a beautiful double with a Zuka, but getting called out, getting pressured. The Slosher, Eon, coming in clutch, getting a trade on the last player alive up front for Mitosis to get a beautiful trade, allowing the last player of He's Taking Leg to push that tower at the last second, and with the death coming through, pushing for the 1-point lead. What an incredible turnaround story for He's Taking Leg to take that last game.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be stuck at 40 and the lead was going to stay with Mitosis, but I guess one of the toenails of one of the members of He Take Leg just put a touch tower in just the right way and just barely able to secure that lead. So beautiful adaptation in game 3 by He Take Leg. They are still going to lose the set on the record, but that extra game can be pivotal in seeding and bracket placement. So hope for the best for both of these teams.
Oh, absolutely. They both put on a great set for us to see. And I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, that any game win is critical for placements, for brackets. For all you know, that one game could be the difference for getting into gold, silver, or bronze bracket. You never know. But great job by both teams. They put in their all. And I just can't wait to see what the next set's gonna bring us.
Yeah, and we're going to see what this next set is going to bring us after a short break. So we'll see you guys in just a bit with some more Inkling Development Program action. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Inkling development program here in round 2. I am Pinky and joined by the wonderful Cactus, and let's just get right into this set. I'm excited for it.
Oh, absolutely, Pinky. We have quite the set on our hands. Like we were saying before when we saw who we were commentating, it's a battle of the Div 8s. We have Police Fold, which is Card Sharks, and Cloud 9 for low quality.
Yeah, and these teams, Cloud Ninth was coached by 7th Heaven, which is a pretty notable Div 2 team, and Please Fold, or Card Sharks, was coached by Please Forfeit, which is a Div X team, which it's a little intimidating to go up against, but I mean both these teams have gotten some very good coaching over the last week, I would assume. So I'm excited to see how they put it all to practice.
Oh, absolutely. And I think my favorite thing about the difference in the divs for their coaches is, they may be very good at playing the game, but are they just as good as giving pointers and tips and even coaching for tourneys? And I guess we'll find out today, as well as what these teams are going to bring out to the table. As we look at our first map mode combination we have, is going to be zoned on Museum di Falsino.
I'm 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 a fan of Museum all around. Zones is definitely an interesting one because it's the hardest one to go back to your own plat. So it is a little bit of a bowl in mid, and that's kind of where you see team fights being forced. But there are still a lot of options for where you want to move, whether it be on or around the spinner or by the sort of gallery area on the left side with the big old statue you can use as cover. So a good amount of options on both teams, but this is also a map where backlines definitely are going to reign supreme. So if either team has a strong backline player, I'm going to expect a lot of pressure to come out from them.
Oh, absolutely. The aggression and the sheer pressure that these teams are going to have to put on each other, especially for this map mode. I mean, I'm tempted to see if we'll see any crabs come out for sure, because having the crab put on spinner when you're able to have that advantage in mid is going to be huge, because you apply it to the enemy plat. Like you said, with backlines, dare bring out an E-leader, scoped or an unscoped. You have so much range and so much pressure once you're able to have it set up on the mid spinner. I mean, it just comes down to positioning and just the momentum had when it comes to this map.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it is going to come down to where you position on your offense, whether you want to push, whether you have everyone just swarm the enemy plat, whether you have some people stay behind trying to catch the drops, and of course, whether you have where you put people to keep watch of that flank on that left side of mid, because that can be a good option to sort of contest the zone from behind if the enemy team is pushed too far into your plat and you just need a form to just stop the aggression a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the flank routes are going to be something to definitely keep a note on, especially if any of these teams bring out very flank-heavy weapons, right? We're looking at wipers, we're looking at even dualies, or quick lightweight shooters, maybe like a splash, or maybe even a junior for all we know. We don't know what these teams are going to bring out for us today, and they could surprise us with some of the most interesting comps imaginable, but imagine we won't have to, as we're going to get right into this first game.
Yeah, first game of round 2 between Cloud Ninth and Please Fold. Take a look at these comps. We see the pencil coming out. Not something I expected, and we're seeing, I believe that is a Sorella Brella coming out, and the ballpoint. So pretty interesting comps. We are seeing the double Zuka, classic double Zuka, coming out from, I believe that is Cloud Ninth.
Yeah, the double Zuka, double V shot. You think that going for a double range, double short range comp is honestly very interesting. I mean, it's pretty much what you're seeing on the side of Please Fold, which is a little bit more of diversity with their weapon comp. Here comes the Zuka, able to get one that's going to secure them a nice little zone cap and push for a stronger lead. But two specials to make that three ready on the side of Please Fold, and now the Jet is popped with the Zip and Cooler. I mean, look at the double Jet. Wait, what is this? What is happening on the field right now?
I don't know, but all the members being in specials means that no one is there to paint the zone, and that's going to be more time retreat going for Cloud Ninth. But finally, zone is capped. Cloud Ninth's push stopped at 66, and Please Fold trying to take control of the enemy, or of this left side of the map here, but Cloud Ninth holding strong on the defense. Another Zuka is popped. You see a Stamper Ward coming, and it goes in favor of Cloud Ninth as the V-Shot is going to try and get the little bit of paint, and yeah, that zone is going back in favor of Cloud Ninth, and now they're all coolered up and ready to make another aggressive push.
As we see the Jet pop on the side to try to stall for a little bit more time, see if they can find any picks. No, they won't, but there's two players on the side. The Stamper with a beautiful double play with the Zip, trying to see if they can go for more. Here they come. Can they try to find another? No, they will stall for time. That is going to be jumps in for Please Hold on their own plat, but with the ballpoint being down, make that a huge trade-off on their own plat. Zone still counting down here for Cloud9 as the Zip is ready for Please Fold. Players jumping in on both sides. The Jet has popped it. Please Fold finally gets the cap on Cloud9 to the zone.
Yeah, Please Fold definitely has a lot of work to do, though. Finally through that penalty, but they're starting to go down a little bit. 3 go down almost immediately, and it's just the ballpoint left alive, left alone on the right side. Probably going to jump out in the near future as all of Cloud9's regrouped, have control of mid again. And that Zuka is going to be popped, just trying to pressure the players on the right side. Ballpoint's going to try and set up on this little cranny over here. But this V-Shot is putting on a good amount of pressure on them. Meanwhile, all the specials are coming out. Jetpack is popped. Ballpoint goes down. Both backlines are down. It's 2 versus 2 in the zone. Jetpack trying to get some picks, but it seems like Cloud9 is going to hold on to the zone for just a little bit longer, but that shot goes down. Both shots are down. This is probably going to be the cap for Please Fold.
I mean, what a great delay of the zone caps, though, for Cloud9. It's just stalling it out as long as they can. Even in that 3v1 situation, did an excellent job of just stalling it out as he made the players of Please Fold try to stall and find any player selecting around. Here comes the Zip. Gets called out. What a beautiful pick there. But the zone is just counting down. The pencil shooting away the ballpoint. That's 2 players down for Please Fold. The zone now looking to get capped in the side of Cloud9's favor with a beautiful pick there. Great assist by the pencil, although they didn't make that squid jump right in mid so easily. As we see now, players popping their Zukas on the side. Cloud9 in full control of mid right now, as they do have to worry for the player struck on the side of the Stamper. It's a Stamper v Stamper fight, but one gets jumped out as the Brella falls to the side. Picked up by the Zuka. Points counting down. This is going to be normal points being counted for Cloud9.
Yeah, Cloud9 threw that massive penalty and now below the 30-point mark, and they're just putting on so much pressure. All this paint on the enemy plat and a Stamper putting on those vertical slashes. Inkjet is trying to find that pick, but forced to recall before they can find it. Zone is being contested in mid, though. It's 2 versus 4 in favor of Please Fold. That V-Shot is being surrounded on all sides, gets taken down by the Brella, I believe, and all of Cloud9 is going to be on their own plat. Please Fold gets control of the zone once again, but time is starting to run out. They have to get this lead here and now. Almost through that penalty. There's beautiful pick from the Brella, contesting 3 players on the enemy plat. Both of the members of Cloud9 have their special at the ready, but Please Fold on the enemy plat, putting on a ton of pressure and through their own penalty. Now they have to hold on to the zone for a little bit longer, and the lead will be theirs.
I mean, look at this pressure they have on the plat. Rada doing a fantastic job just switching back and forth, making sure no players can move over. Alamar with the Zuka. It's a beautiful pick on the Jet and cancels out that Stamper and making it just a Zap player left alone. And they're trying to fight for the life to get the lead and paint it over, and that they will. What a great job by Atlas64, just stalling it out for so long, trying to see if they can at least get out and find a pick. Oh my god, how are they still alive here? Jumping out just barely in time as the rest of their teammates try to come in, get picked off with only 30 seconds left on the clock. Cloud9 is sitting comfortably here with this zone.
Atlas was quite literally carrying the world on their back there at the end, but it might not even matter. Cloud9 almost threw their penalty. This Please Hold us to act here and now. 3, 2, 1 points for the lead switch, and that's going to be Cloud9 regaining the lead with 10 seconds left, and they are looking towards this knockout. Have to hold the zone a little bit longer, and that's going to do it. Cloud9 in a back and forth game 1, get the knockout and take it.
I mean, this battle of the Div 8s, talk about a fantastic game 1. We have a set on our hands. As you mentioned, such incredible back and forth by both these teams. The offense and defense switching between the two, taking the advantage when they had it. The special combo coordination was just incredible. I mean, this is going to be an amazing set from both these teams because they are giving it their all.
Yeah, both these teams played super well in that game 1. Because for a significant amount of it, Please Fold was down, but they were never out. They never quit. They never showed any signs of giving up. They just said, we're going to take this game, and they got super close to doing so, but Cloud9 just had a little bit of that clutch factor. Please Fold got a little bit too antsy in the final few moments of that match, went down a little bit too early, and Cloud9 was just able to seal the deal with that cap. So, beautiful game 1, but I think we're going to have a fantastic set in our hands. Only time will tell as we head towards game 2 on Clamblitz Scorched Gorge.
Oh, absolutely. And thinking about the comps that we saw these two teams bring in, for game one. Game two, Clan Blitz, Scourge, Gorge. I can't personally see these teams maybe switching up too much. Maybe one or two weapons on either side, but both teams had what seems to be very good comms for a lot of the space and the walls and height advantages they can have on Scourge as a map as a whole. So it'd be interesting to see what these teams might consider bringing out rather than the comps they already run. But I mean, with a double Inkjet on one side, double Zuka on the other, I mean, both were just strong comps in the first game. I can't imagine they'd want to change too much for the second one.
Yeah, and I mean, both these teams were also rocking that Sultana Stamper, which is a very difficult weapon, but both of them used it pretty well with the coordinates of their teammates. So I'm excited to see some more of them Stamper battles as we move through this set. But yeah, as you said, both these team comps are fairly similar. It just comes down to the difference between double Zuka and double Inkjet, which, I mean, both of which are incredibly good specials. Zuka is obviously just a little more topical, but we did see Please Fold get fantastic use out of that Brella for a significant portion of that game. So I'm excited to see how that Brella is going to come into play as we head into game two, if it even sticks around.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, we saw some incredible usage of the Zipcaster by those Stampers in that last game. And towards the end of that match, we saw the Stamper take such incredible height to try to fight off that Inkjet coming from the flank routes. So these players on the Stampers are no strangers when it comes to finding funny angles and picks for their specials, but we'll see what they bring out and see if they could pull anything off funny again going into game two, Clan Blitz on Scourge Gorge.
Yeah, we're going to head right into it, take a look at these comps. Pencil is going to be staying. Yeah, it looks like Cloud9 going with all the same components, and we're seeing Please Fold do pretty much the same here. Yeah, still that vanilla ballpoint, not trying to go for that ink vac, which, I mean, makes sense on this map, and we're just going to get right into it. Both these teams are going to roll out in mid, and I would imagine both these teams are going to just try and get as much control as possible before looking for picks on each other.
Absolutely, as we see a nice fight off in mid, Rod on the side, trying to pull out a little bit of space, see if they can stall a little bit, push the players back, but they're switching from both sides here. One player's going to go down. They are coolered up, so they have a little bit more momentum, but actually cooler as well for Cloud9, so it is right now just a battle for mid. Both these teams seem to be in a little bit of a stalemate here. It comes down to see who could just get the most picks when needed. Here comes the Zippy, blocked by the cooler. No, unfortunate stall out here. The Pencil's getting a great pick on one. It's a 2v1 on the field as the last player's in an Inkjet. That's Radar. Seems they can find any picks on the side, but none are going to be able to be had.
Man, I wish you could zip onto cooler. That'd be so funny. Just to pop up in front of it. But regardless, both these teams are holding strong in this opening. Both of them have a fair amount of control in mid, but neither have really pushed into each other. But right now, Clam Economy is absolutely favoring Please Fold. If they can get that last claim onto the Brella, that's going to be some beautiful passive special charge going in their favor, I believe. Stamper's going to go down, though. Zuka is popped. Zipcaster's popped from Cloud9 as well. And they're starting to move forward a little bit. The Stamper's being oh so annoying at the enemy spawn, but 2 go down on Cloud9. 3 go down. It's just the Stamper as the Brella tries to camp that landing, but the Stamper actually gets the pick on the Brella in the Inkjet, and the Stamper trying to hold on for dear life versus the assault of Please Fold, and it looks like the teammates are respawned to help them do just that.
What an excellent job by Louis, getting a beautiful pick on the Brella with Inkjet. You know, you really think if the player should have just held onto their Inkjet, because the Brella is just so effective when it comes to the Brella shield. As we see the 1v1 here going once again, the rematch on the enemy side plat. Cloud9, though, without the big clam economy, they're just trying to barely build up some clans. Louis just getting so much space, the cooler pop to help them out as they're slowly being pushed back. Look at the just strategy they're using there, putting some slashes to stall out any forward momentum that Please Fold could have. The Zip comes out, see if they can get a pick on one. Yes, they will! And it's 2 picks down for Please Fold. Cloud9 now rushing in to see if they can score this power clan.
That was a beautiful flick direct by Louis. Gets another pick on the ballpoint as well, and that's going to be the basket being opened for Cloud9, and these clams are all filing in all the way down to 50 points right off the jump, and 2 members of Please Fold are still down. That's plenty of time for Cloud9 to get some more clams and swim back in. Zuka is popped, 1 goes down as the Brella gets taken down, but it looks like this push might be ending. Olimar trying to get a few more clams into that basket. Is able to get 3 more clams down to 29 points. The Stamper still living large, finally gets taken down, and that looks like Cloud9's push is going to be ending, but what a monstrous push to 26 to get things started here.
Oh, and with 2 minutes left on the clock, you gotta be thinking Fleet Fold is trying to think quickly of a strategy to try to find their way in. I mean, like you said, what a monstrous push by Cloud9, getting it down to 26, and already having a power clamp made, but Glade, beautiful inkjet shot, getting that one power clamp meter down. Atlas grabbing the power clamp now, and this looks like Fleet Fold's attempt at a push. If they could try to get in, they're trying to find a little more pain, trying to push a little bit more in. You see Glade trying to call their teammate in to try to go in, but no, two will go down to picks. It is a 2v2 now on the field. Ghosty getting a nice power clamp made to throw it in, but it only gets him down to 60. And Please Fold getting into a dangerous situation. Rana has no choice but to jump out, and that's going to be the push over for Please Fold. Cloud9 with a great array of defense, and now they have great control of mid.
Yeah, almost so much of this map is painted in Cloud9's color at this point, and they're already starting to move up again. Some Zuka shots a bit earlier, and there's another Zuka online as well as the Zipcaster. And I mean, Cloud9 just has a ton of clams going right now. They are in a very good position to just keep this game in a neutral state, and it's on Please Fold to try and break out of it as they need to get another push going if they want to get the lead. And there's only there's less than a minute left to do so. Oliver's putting pressure on the enemy ramp right now, forced to back up a little bit, but at this point, Cloud9 doesn't even have to go for picks that much. They just have to stall for as much time as possible and make sure that Please Fold can't get enough of the resources to get a push going. Inkjet landing is going to be camped here. Stamper is going to be putting pressure, but that is going to be the basket broken for Cloud9 once again. Zuka gets another pick onto Ghosty, and yeah, Cloud9 just doing a beautiful job at keeping this push alive.
What great push there by Cloud9. Unfortunately, though, not able to get out of that penalty. And with that, they're going to give Please Fold a free power clam. So with 20 seconds left, they just have to hold this advantage. Hold a lot of mid pressure. Collect the clams as you can. Make power clams. You hold it with your team. Grab 2 from each stack and get the necessary picks. And that is everything they are doing here. Power clam made if they need to try to close it off in overtime. Here we go. Otachi goes in and tries to score the clam, but gets canceled out by the Jet. That's 2 players down. Olimar and Louis trying to fight for their lives. Throwing a bomb in the corner, trying to keep their teammate alive, and they get 1. What a great bomb placement. And Louis in the corner. Sharking on the side. Here we go. Trying to hold it for a jump, but the basket's open, and they're not near it. They have to hold the pressure if they can, or else it's going to be a lead swap.
That dastardly Louis always with a plan, but it backfires for them, but this basket looks like it's gonna close, and that is going to be it. Cloud9 is going to be taking that second game here, up 2-0 in the set versus Please Fold.
I mean, when you think things are getting dangerous there, maybe Louis had the great idea of causing a distraction, causing 2 players to stay by their own basket and separating them into a 2v2 situation with a 1v2 on the side with Louis, a 3v2 on the other hand of their basket for Cloud9. I mean, just a great array of causing a stagger and struggle for them and holding that last game to take it.
Yeah, and Cloud9 up 2-0. They are going to be taking the set, but just like in the last set, we are going to be playing this game 3 for some seeding purposes. So still beautifully done from Cloud9, but Please Fold still has a chance to get themselves on the board here in game 3. We're going to be going on one of the newest maps in this game, Rainmaker on Crab Leg Capital.
Now, Please Fold is going to be looking to see if they could try to secure a solid win here. I mean, we've seen both these teams go at it this game. They've done a wonderful job at pretty much a great back and forth. We've seen great offense from both teams. We've seen great defense. This last game, Cloud9 just seemed a lot more dominant, using the momentum they had to hold a lot more pressure and just cause a lot of tricky situations for Please Fold. But with this last game coming up, we've seen in the last previous set we commentated, we could see it in this round as well, for Please Fold to maybe cause some overtime mayhem, or we could see a just very dominant game and it ended very quickly, or a long 5 minutes of just holding that Rainmaker for a strong lead. Anything is possible. What do you think about these comps that we might see?
I mean, both these teams have seemed pretty comfortable with what they're going, but it looks like, I mean, Cloud9's just been coming out a little bit on top. Zuka is just such a strong meta special, so maybe we might be seeing Please Fold pick up a splatter shot along the way, but both these teams are just super confident with what they've been playing, and I mean, they've both been making it work pretty well against each other, so I don't know. I could see both these squads sticking with some of the same. We might see the vanilla ballpoint go to the ballpoint nouveau on the side of Please Fold, just because Inkback is pretty strong on this Rainmaker map in particular, but I don't know. A lot can happen, but I think we're going to see a lot of the same.
And I gotta agree with you there because both these teams are comfortable with what they have and they know it pretty much works. Cloud9's obviously just finding the upper advantage hand, whether it be using their momentum to force their way in and create the advantages, or just coming down into holding things together. But let's see if things will stay the same for either of these teams on this Rainmaker Crabla game.
Yeah, we're gonna get right into game three, and yeah, a lot of the same coming out. But with a little bit of comp change, there's one player not here. Oopsies.
3v4 if only we could. Obviously, we will do a little bit of a reset there and let that last player come in, but we did see, like you mentioned, the ballpoint change. I believe that was coming out of Cloud9. They did opt for the ballpoint Vo, which does have a great special for it, the Vac, and it's going to be a great opportunity, especially with that Rainmaker path on the Greats. You could steal a lot of points if you're able to get up there and have that momentum set for that special combination.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the graded path is pretty difficult for the enemy team to contest because there's only really one route out of spawn that reaches there, but can't sleep on that other lower route either. It's pretty easy to just get a ton of points that way, and it's a phenomenal flank route for your own team to use to get a sort of dual-pronged assault. So, I don't know. I feel like the meta for this map is still being developed, but it's fun to watch it develop, honestly, just because of how freely you can move around this map and how fluid kinds of movement is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do have so many. You do have the one flank site on the left side of that block. You do have the main entrance up right in the middle, and of course the grates on the top right. And as we've seen with other mode combinations with this map, things shift around, things change, and we see so many different comps being brought out here to attempt to be the meta for this map. And like you said, it's still a new map. We see it progressing day by day, tournament by tournament. But hopefully we have a nice 4v4 for this final game of this set on Rainmaker Crab Leg.
Yeah, and we're gonna get right into it. As you said, the ballpoint Nouveau. Cloud9 is actually running comp without cooler, and Rada is going for the Wiper Deco here, as opposed to the Sorella Brella that we've been seeing them use. So a little bit of a comp change on both sides. Peaceful opting for the missiles, and Cloud9, like I said, not going for that tactical cooler.
Missile's not a terrible idea, but also opting for no cooler could be a little bit different, tricky situation. It'd be dangerous for you if you're unable to solidify it with getting the picks. Cooler comps are so dominant in this current meta. It's interesting to see teams that want to challenge it and not go with it, but it has been done and it can happen repeatedly. We see a little bit of a step on the side there by the Rainmaker on the grade. Unfortunately, Gede picked off to the side. They're going to try to go for the pop. It's going to be 3 players down. The last one jumping out just barely. ASAP with the Zuka, trying to find one off of the spawn of Cloud9 to be unsuccessful. And now Rainmaker in possession of Please Fold as they try to push their way to their first checkpoint.
Yeah, they have the lead and they have that checkpoint pretty much immediately. And this ballpoint popping that inkjet, trying to put a little bit more pressure. As Peaceful is going to make their way over towards that Rainmaker, they're going to grab it, make that jump, and get it down to 36 right quick and delayed, able to grab that cooler and swim away safely. And that's probably going to be a bunch of the members of Peaceful jumping into mid to get right back into the action.
What an excellent job there by Pleaseful. A great push and a strong one too, all the way down to 36. I mean, that is quite a lot of points to climb up, but Cloud9 now taking the same path on the side. Missiles come out and it's 2 players down, but they are coolered up. Cloud9's having to have the Olimar back up here, try to stay alive, but the Stamper calls him out, gets a beautiful pick. It's a 3v4 on the map. Here comes the back to try to push it for a lead. Can they get it? But no! The sword! And an excellent play. It's a full wipeout for Please Fold with an advantage. And look at ASAP already on the enemy plat for Cloud9.
Yeah, and ASAP is close to having this Zuka. They are forced to drop before they can pop it though by the enemy Zuka, but that Zuka is going to expire very soon, and ASAP has their own at the ready, ready to pop it as just the ballpoint with their Inkjet. Zuka is popped, Inkjet is on the way, making its way towards Olimar, and right now Pleasefold is on the verge of having a great push. Beautiful pick onto Louis by this Inkjet. Barely misses the pick on Ochi, but the teammate is there for the response, and it's just 2 left on Cloud9, and they're having so much pressure. We put on the missiles, claim another life, and Pleasefold has a beautiful amount of control in mid right now in all parts of the map. Cloud9 is really going to have to work together if they wish to break out.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I was mentioning before. It's so tricky to try to fight against a cooler comp because they're constantly back. What a great Zuka shot, though, by one of the shot players on Cloud9, stopping that Rainmaker in its tracks. It's a 2v2 on the map right now, but the paint advantage, the pop advantage seems to be in favor for Please Fold. There it goes. The pop is had, but Cloud9 trying to fight for a little bit more space, trying to fight for a little more pick. Can they find the pick where they need them? Their ball play's gonna go down. The Stamper might find a pick on Olimar. Olimar, how are you alive? You're barely there. The Inkjet sees you, calls you out. You're down. 2-player disadvantage for Cloud9. Please fold. Having great stance here in mid.
Yeah, Please Fold has just been on their game in this third game here, and Atlas is just going to grab the Rainmaker and run it left immediately. Going to get taken down, but ASAP is able to get the revenge, gets taken down themselves, but at this point, Please Fold can just play so much more aggressively now that they have Cooler. They can just play at such a faster pace compared to what Cloud9 can. And this Rainmaker is going to be grabbed and ran a bit further down to 20 points, and that's going to make the job for Cloud9 that much harder. And Please Fold is still here, putting on pressure. 4v2 in their favor. Atlas going to run and grab this Rainmaker once again. 5 points, 3 points are left on the board for Please Fold, and they're still here, I believe. Some of them are finally forced to drop back, but here is this Wiper trying to get the pick on Alf. Alf is able to win that, and Gallade goes down as well. Please Fold finally off of Cloud9's plat, but now Cloud9 has to get it down to 2 or lower if they want to take this game.
A mountain and a half to climb, especially where the final pedestal is on the map for Cloud9. I mean, just such a dangerous situation they were in. They were so lucky to be able to get those picks all through to make sure there wasn't an immediate KO. A minute left on the clock. They have a little bit of time. They're going to have to really rely on the picks and their special usage to get in and try to stop their defense of Please Fold, because Cloud9 needs a miracle right now. They need Please Fold to fold.
Yeah, a little bit. Please Fold kind of has to fall asleep at the wheel here. 35 seconds left. Beautiful Inkjet snipe from Gallade onto Alpha. Now trying to find the pick on the Rainmaker as well. Rainmaker able to dodge just a little bit for the rest of the time. And now the Stamper is going to be rushed by this ball point. 1v1 is happening, going in favor of Cloud9. This is exactly what they need. But the Stamper gets taken down as Tactical is popped by Please Fold, and now they can play as recklessly as they want. ASAP immediately dropping, get the pick on the shot, and the Rainmaker, I believe, explodes. With just 10 seconds left, and this Rainmaker is in a very awkward spot right now. I don't think Cloud9 is going to be able to reach it in time. Louis is certainly trying, but they're dropping it into so many players and 10 missiles on them. They get one pick, but are still able to stay alive, but Please Fold able to grab that Rainmaker and are able to take that game and reduce the score a little bit.
Wow, fantastic job there by Please Fold. Applying that instant pressure and not letting up at all. I mean, things got so dangerous so many times for Cloud9, just barely sneaking away, having to use their specials, unfortunately, to take over even just their own plat, not even to try to push through mid. Things just got so dangerous so quickly, and just great job done there by Please Fold, taking one game in this set and taking it strongly too. I mean, I just can't wait to see how they do in the rest of these rounds, because they are going to ride off that momentum, because it looks like they were not messing around that last game.
Yeah, both these teams did a phenomenal job, and Cloud9, for their trouble, I mean, they did lose that game 3, but as far as set counts go, I believe they're up 2-0 in Swiss Pool, so one of the clear frontrunners here in the A-side of groups. Meanwhile, Please Fold and No Slouch in their own right are at a 1-1 score count, but have a good amount of games under their belt, and I'd imagine that number is only going to grow as the tournament progresses. So there's a good chance we might be seeing one or both of these teams in gold bracket when all is said and done. So definitely looking forward to see how both of these teams perform in the rest of the tournament.
Absolutely. And while we wait for our next round to start up, while these teams finish their current sets, we are going to go ahead and take a quick break. So don't go anywhere for more Inkling Development Program. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more Inkling Development Program. Once again, my name is Cactus. Joining me on the commentator stand is a Pinky. We have a fantastic set coming to you for this next round. We have Blurry with Isopods and Otter Ball Ballistics within the trenches.
What are you saying? That is clearly otter balls. What are you talking about?
Listen. I saw it at first, and I was like, wait a minute.
Just a little confused. Otter ballistics with the best logo in the West. Go do crime. Absolutely phenomenal. Feel free to check out the Inkling Development Program Twitter because all the logos are posted there, and my god, there are so many amazing ones. But yeah, we're gonna have Blurry, also known as Isopods, up against Otter ballistics, also known as let me look at the thing. In the trench, that's the one. I was just on screen. I'm just very dumb. But yeah, we're gonna get right into round 3 of groups here, starting things off on Zones and Mako Mart, a tried and true classic.
Oh, just like if it was tower control on this map, or even clam blitz. I mean, I feel like besides, the mid being the zone, it's so tricky to try to break back in once you get into that bit of a pushback, bit of a stagger or lockout. It's going to be interesting to see what these teams both can bring to the table. And if I do remember correctly, both these teams are coming off of right now an 0-2. So both these teams are looking to try to take this for themselves to see if they can get a great solid bracket placement. Let's look at these comps as they roll out.
Interesting. We're seeing the Carbon Deco plus Range Blaster plus Nautilus come out on, I believe, Blurry, which I did not expect, to be fully honest. I don't think I would have expected in a million years, but here it is.
Yeah, I mean, quite the interesting comp. I mean, you have a lot of range opportunity, you have the sharking opportunity, the blaster gets a beautiful direct on one, looking to see if they can try to stay alive from this Inkling, but no, get picked off. It's a 1v1 on the map right now, as Otter Ballistics tries to take the zone back, fight their way back in. The Coolers pop, so they have a little bit of an upper hand against Blurry. They're able to get one. The Cooler is popped as well for Blurry, so it's pretty even on the stage right now. Otter Ballistic tried to hold on to the zone, get a little bit more points than that they will with a great double laying on the field.
Yeah, the Hero Shot was able to get a lot of nice kills, and Otter Ballistics also has an Octobrush Nuva, which is a weapon that's been moving up in, I guess, player opinion, pretty substantially recently, and Otter Ballistics doing a great job leveraging it as they are up 4-2, and they have a sturdy control of the zone right now, as all of Blurry is still trying to respawn and trying to get themselves regrouped. Inkstorm is thrown on the zone. This might be what Blurry needs to push forward. We're going to need to see some extra specials. Carbon is going to try and get the pick, but it gets taken down by the Inkjet themselves. 3 versus 3 right now, but it's looking to still favor our Ballistics. That paint output is insane, but 3 of them are going to go down. That looks like Blurry is going to be able to get that control of the zone.
And giving Otter Ballistics such an excellent amount of points they have to rack up with that penalty, trying to hold the zone as long as they can, getting bombed out off of the stacks. A lot of pressure being thrown at them for Blurry, but nice pick there by the Carbon. Beautiful Shark to get one. They're looking to see if they can try to further this with another one on the side, trying to get a pick on the Zuka, and it's going to be a little bit of a trade-off. 2v3 on the map as the squad Inkjet is popped. Blaster goes down. It is now in favor of Otter Ballistics to get this zone and try to get rid of their penalty points.
Yeah, two minutes have elapsed, and Otter Ballistics has a pretty firm control right now, pushing through their penalty. 2 members are trying to put some pressure on this right stack, but neither of these players want to commit to anything right now. It's just Otter Ballistics is perfectly content to sit back, keep the zone in their control, and force Blurry to come to them, and it's been working pretty well so far. Octopus going to jump up. Zap is going to go down with that beautiful assist. Rangemaster coming behind, but it goes down, gets a trade for its trouble, but not going to be enough, and looks like Otter Balls is out of their penalty. The ballpoint gets a nice double there, and that's just going to be all good news for Otter Ballistics out of that penalty, below 30 points, and Blurry is in trouble right now. They have to move fast if they want to get this lead.
Moving fast is what they're aiming to do here, as they see trying to poke off some pressure, get rid of the ballpoint on the side. They will get claim of zone and try to work through their own penalty points, but here comes the brush, trying to get at least one in that they will. A great trade off on the side. Zuko comes through, trying to find another, but it's to be unsuccessful. Cooler is popped to apply a little more pressure, but here's the reversing Jet, getting a beautiful pick on one. Trava doing a great job at bouncing up, grabbing that Cooler, saying thanks for the soda. Zuka's out here trying to find one pick if they can with it. No, they won't. Zone in favor of Otter Ballistics.
And beautiful flank by Trauma, getting a nice double, and that's just going to be the Carbon alone on the side of Blurry, and Auto Ballistics perfectly content to just keep the zone in their control. They're starting to move forward a little bit. Rapid Robbie is set up on the right stack here, and it's going to be very difficult to approach, and Blurry does not have much time to do so. Only about 20 seconds left before the knockout comes, and Blurry is just trying to do whatever possible, coming in on this left side, but 2 go down. Zuka is being popped, and the Zap is trying to paint over, but the Carbon is the only one left alive. 4 time takes left, and it's not going to be enough. Blurry is going to go down, and Auto Ballistics takes that game 1 in a very strong fashion.
Excellent job there done by Auto Ballistics, just holding so much pressure, both in aggression and paint control. And you have to think that maybe that might have been the downfall for Blurry, that they were trying to aim so much on trying to get those picks. They didn't really have a lot of paint output for that Carpet to go in and Shark. Try to find a lot of tricky plays, even for the Blaster as well. I mean, that requires so much paint, and not in Zap only paint so much, especially with the range the Knowledge needs to try to poke off some other players away. So, you know, we could see maybe a little bit of comp change as we look into game number 2, Tower Control and Inkling Art Academy.
Yeah, the NA Classic. We love counterpicking the stage. We love playing on the stage. It's just been the ride or die, tried and true ever since game 1, and here we are, well over a year into the game, and it still holds true. It's a phenomenal map. A lot of options you can use, or a lot of options you can take advantage of on both offense and defense as you're riding this tower. But the second checkpoint and the third checkpoint are both where, you know, the big sort of breaking points are, because it can be very difficult to break those because of how well defended they can be. But if you're able to get those checkpoints down, it is a major boost for your team.
Absolutely, and even riding that momentum to try to get at least past that second checkpoint, controlling the bats areas and the plat sections overall for your team to try to put a lot of pressure on the enemy side, being able to clear those checkpoints, hold the momentum, hold that pressure. It can be very dangerous if you're unable to break out. Now we do, with some of the comps we did see, both teams do have, at least from the comps we saw from the previous game, have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to tower control, whether it be the poking and chip damage, whether it be the availability of corners. So it's interesting. I'm curious to see what these players might bring out if they decide to change anything. But you know, we saw very comfortable comps, and we could see them say the same here.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams looked pretty comfortable with what they were playing. We did see some off the wall stuff coming out here, but I'm just excited. Maybe we might return to a little bit of normalcy, but I would assume that Range Blaster is going to return, because Range Blaster is so good on tower control, and this map gives it a lot of cover and a lot of corners it can peek around and take advantage of. So I'm excited to see. We might see some comp changes on both sides, but only time will truly tell, and we're going to look right into it as we get into game 2 between Blurry and Auto Ballistics. Let's take a look at these comps.
As we load right in, we're going to see Blurry coming through with the Tri-Slasher and the Machine. What a massive change-up coming from the side of Blurry. Auto Ballistics opting pretty much for a similar comp they ran the previous game, still keeping that brush, the Octo Brush Nouveau, so great pick there. But wow, look at just the chip and wall damage and ledge damage and holds they can have for Blurry. But right off the bat, Auto Ballistics wasting no time, getting a triple on the map, and just like that, the last player alive is the Tri-Slasher having to back up, try to stall for time. Trauma doing a fantastic job of just being purely aggressive, getting the flank off so well.
I think Blurry might have some V-shot trauma at the end of this set, because my goodness, they've been popping off. But ADHD on this blaster gets a beautiful double pick to stop that push them in there, stem the bleeding a little bit, but that first checkpoint still fell in favor of Auto Ballistics, and now ADHD is pushed up alone riding this tower. Finally goes down to that bomb. Blurry is pretty far behind, trying to push forward, but one of them goes down with a tactical, or Try is going to go down as well. It's just the Machine forced to retreat to plat, and now all his mid is in favor of Auto Ballistics. And now Blurry is always trying to do whatever they can to break out of this lockout, but they do not have a great comp at doing that.
ADHD with the blaster doing a great job at picking off the Inkjet. They can find another pick on the side. Yes, they will. They will get a trade-off with that, but momentum still a little bit in Blurry's favor, as Otter Balls had to stop their push. Even though they popped that cooler, it's popped at a really rough position where no other teammates can grab it. The Inkjet is popping. It's a beautiful pick right there on the ball point as they try to find a second. Booyah Bomb comes out to try to push back more members of Auto Ballistics. Blurry looks to try to clear their first checkpoint if they can, but their the range and the Machine is going to go down to the ball point, and Zuka's popped from the side. Just a lot of lot of focus on that tower from Auto Ballistics, stopping Blurry's push. And here we go. It is Auto Ballistics setting up perfectly for this first checkpoint run.
Yeah, right now this Octobrush is positioning on the right side, trying to catch anyone daring to drop on them. Ballpoint is going to be providing a beautiful fire at the back and to get that nice pick on the end zap, and that is going to stem the tactical supply that Blurry's comp so heavily relies on. Range Blaster is forced to drop in a very awkward spot, trying to just weather the storm a little bit, but they're forced to engage with the enemy a little bit, trying to get the pick. They do get a pick on the Octobrush, but go down quickly themselves. Blurry 2 down as Auto Ballistics pushing this tower once again past this first checkpoint, trying to make their way to their second. They're moving a little bit slowly, but they're making it surely. And here we go, second checkpoint. This is where Blurry's really going to show what they're made of, because they cannot afford to let this checkpoint fall.
Oh, and just look at that. 3 players down. Zuka trying to find another. Yes, they will on the bats. Oh, Blurry's in such a tricky situation. Outer Ballistic has almost complete control of the bats. Yes, they do. Just a machine player up front. The paint output is insane here. Specials trying to be built up on the side if they can. Try to stall a little bit more, but no, it's going to be a delayed wipe for Auto Ballistic as the last player jumps out. But Trauma is still on the plat by tower. They're trying to stall it. They get 1 player down. They are being a menace, holding it all together. The Booyah Bomb comes out to try to stall out Trauma, but no, they won't. They will still be here. Finally dropping out into mid and stalling this push that Blurry thought they finally had to control mid.
Yeah, Trauma's just been playing absolutely amazingly here, spearheading such an amazing offense for Auto Ballistics, and that offense got them down to 22 points. And Blurry, as they're backs against the wall here, about 1:30 left, and they still haven't broken that first checkpoint. Zuka claims another on to that Range Blaster, and the Tactical Cooler is out in favor of Auto Ballistics. Tri-Slosher and the Machine are trying to make something happen on this right stack, with 2 go down on the side of Blurry. Range Blaster is dropping out from Plat, and this Machine is trying to retreat onto Plat, just trying to go wherever is possibly safe, because look at mid. Auto Ballistics has so much control. Blurry trying to push back in, but Auto Ballistics has so much defense all over the place here, and Blurry, the issue's really on them because they have just over a minute left to get this game.
Yeah, I mean, with a minute left on the clock and picks going off on both sides, a nice little bit of a stalemate in mid. Inkjet does get popped, the Machine having to opt to fall back to not get picked off on their side. It is now Auto Ballistics having a lot of this control over tower right now, just taking as much mid as they can. Trauma sharking as they do, gonna get a pick on the recall of this jet. Will they get it? Yes, they will. Can they find another around this ledge? They will try for it and get the assist. 30 seconds left on the clock. Auto Ballistics is looking mighty fine right now.
Yeah, Trauma's just moving here, there, and everywhere, putting on tons of pressure, popping that Zuka once again. And Otterballs has control of the tower. Zuka finds a pick on the Range Blaster. Trauma's on the enemy plat already, running behind, gets the pick onto Venmo, and trying to find this 1v1 against the Machine. Beautiful triple from Trauma there, as they finally go down with this Range Blaster, is forced to try and defend the plat all by themselves, and the Inkjet is popped. All the players are in bats. Yeah, it's Auto Ballistics here on the enemy plat, doing absolutely insane work. Hazy with the squid bag a little bit, and that is probably going to seal the deal for this game. Game 2 going in favor of Auto Ballistics.
Trauma really just giving Trauma, feeling like the all-star that game, just starting off so strong with a beautiful triple and just constantly applying the pressure on poor Blurry there, feeling like the Flash, just being everywhere all at once, doing so much. I mean, truly an incredible effort done by that player and the rest of Auto Ballistics, constantly working together in coordination to just get these players down from Blurry, and Blurry being in just a tricky spot in both of these games. You know, they had a great even stalemate when it came to the first game, going back and forth. Second game was very more dominant when it came to Auto Ballistics, but with this last game leading into Clam Blitz on Brinewater Springs. Yes. Almost forgot the name of this short map that leads you into enemy spawn in 2 seconds. So look at this. It can at least take 1.
It's over in a flash. Point laugh, haha, funny Tetris piece. I don't know. The Splatoon community is a little devoid of humor at times, but we do what we can. This map is absolutely tiny. Range is king, and we've been seeing that Auto Ballistics definitely has the range advantage in their comp. So Blurry, I mean, they've seemed pretty hesitant to pick a backline option. If they were to pick one, this would be the map where they're kind of forced to do it, because it's clear that something has just not been working for them. Just, it might be due to a lack of paint or a lack of range, or maybe even a lack of specials, but Blurry's going to have to change something in the secret formula if they wish to take this game.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if that's going to be a comp change for them or if it's going to just be changing their strategy. But they're going to need to figure out something. Hopefully, maybe the map and maybe the mode is in their favor. Maybe this is a map mode or that they are in favor of, that they constantly practice or do well in. But if they want to at least try to take one game to not get 3-0'd here by Auto Ballistic, they will need it. They will have to figure something out, or at least try to hold as long as they can for an early push, and just keep it until the very end.
Yeah, I mean, any game taken is super nice for seeding. Auto Ballistics is still going to take the set, though, so they could... I mean, they're always obviously in a great spot, but if you're Auto Ballistics, I would imagine you would want that 3-0 because both these teams have had kind of a rough go at this tournament so far, so Auto Ballistics would really like to just take this 3-0 as they head into their final set of Swiss, and take it as swiftly as possible. So we will see what's going to happen here in this game 3. Both these teams trying to make a good show of things here, trying to make something happen. So here we go, right into game 3 between Blurry and Auto Ballistics on Clams Brine Water.
As these players roll out, let's see if there's going to be any comp changes coming from either side. Blurry opting to bring out the Wiper and go back to the Nautilus. And dare I say, was that a Tetris I saw coming on the side?
That was a Tetradualies.
What a great pick. Honestly, that's gonna be the change of momentum they might need. It's gonna be a lot of more forward pressure. That is the Vanilla Stamper, and unfortunately, it looks like one player fell in the water right at the start.
What happened to Hazy? Wait.
Zap down to the water pit that's right under the basket. That was so unfortunate. I don't think that was on purpose.
Oh, man. But this Tetra is trying to battle this Inkjet. Beautiful trade coming out. Blurry is a little bit down, though. They don't have much control of mid. Soda is popped in favor of Auto Ballistics. I guess that Zap was able to avoid the clam water that time. And Inkstorms are coming out on both sides here. Both these teams trying to get a bit of control on mid, but Auto Ballistics has so many clams at their disposal right now. Most of their team is close to power clam, but do go down, and that's a lot of clam supply being destroyed then and there.
Oh, and that poor death to the chicken Autobomb. Just the pressure being applied right back to Blurry. This is what they needed. This is the type of back and forth they've been waiting for. They do have excellent clan economy getting all those picks. The power climb would made the player going in, somehow barrel rolling, squid rolling their way to score that power climb in, and now it is just the Wiper left. That might have been a little bit dangerous of a play. They're just barely gonna back out of that, and just like I said before at the beginning of this map, it's so short, it's so quick, and just like that, they're already on Blurry's doorstep, knocking in, saying let us in. Here comes the Inkjet to try to apply even more pressure.
Yeah, Auto Ballistics wants to come in and do crimes, and they're doing just that. Inkjet gets a beautiful pick. Hammer's going to go down as well. Auto Ballistics gets their first score, and they're getting clams in to take the lead right now. And they have the numbers advantage, so they can keep this push perpetuated as long as they would like. Down to 53, V-Shot has another clam, but Travis is going to run in, gets taken down, is able to provide enough time for Auto Ballistics to get 3 more clams in the basket. 44 is a very nice opening push, and they can potentially get more, but it looks like that basket is going to close, and that push is going to be shut there at 44.
Oh, thank goodness that they got that for Blurry. I mean, Auto Ballistics, God forbid they got that pity clam in. That would have brought their points down to 24. So good hold by Blurry, putting them in dangerous situation. Holding back the enemy team now. Not so much of a mountain to climb, but it's still a long way to go. They have to first try to break out of their own plot off of their ramp. The Zuka is going to get a great pick there on the Zap. As the trade-off goes down as mid, it's going to be 2 players down on both sides. The Stamp comes in to try to see if they can shark out any picks. They're going to get one with the ball. Great pick. They're going to see if they can find them. They throw the hammer, get the Inkjet to follow suit, and that's going to be 3 players down as one respawns for Auto Ballistics and Blurry. Still as well, 2 players down, dangerous situation. It is just a hold of mid.
Yeah, Blur. I mean, that Nezuko on this Viper got a beautiful 2 picks, but not going to substantiate too much. Blurry still has to make their way over to that basket. This Viper is going to try and go over the flank, but they get called out and spotted pretty early by Rapid Robbie on the ball point here. But the Octopus is going to go down 3 versus 3 in mid, and mid is painted in both colors. Neither team has definitive control. Tetra going to re-slider right in, but this re-slider is going to be damaged pretty heavily, and it's going to drop the power claim really far forward in the range for Blurry. Probably can't grab it, and at this point, Blurry needs all the points they can possibly get. Tetra's able to grab it to refresh it, but they go down to Hazy here, and now this power claim is super defended by Auto Ballistics. I don't think Blurry's going to be able to get it.
Definitely not, and a nice Zuka shot clears out that last player with the power climb. They're dropping and try to get it. This is going to be a delayed wipeout on the side of Blurry, and Auto Ballistic has the opportunity to push in for this. They're going to shark on the side, pop the hammer, get one, they get two. This could be a triple, but no! Finished out at the end with a quick 2v1 from the side. What a great pick by the Octo Brush there. And just like that clan economy again, because these clams just spawn in so quickly in mid, grabbing enough clam economy to have 16 in total. Power clam on available for them. 2 specials online. Auto Ballistic is looking for their next push.
Yeah, that Inkstorm is going to be thrown right there to try and give Auto Ballistics a little bit of a leeway to push in. And the Zuka, Prom's going to be popping that signature Zuka. Gets a pick on the Knot as well, and the Viper's coming in behind, gets taken down by the Inkjet. 2 are dead, 3 are dead on the side of Blurry, and Auto Ballistics is levying another push. Venma goes down for that delayed wipeout, and that Power Clam is going to make its way back into the basket, and Auto Ballistics has some clams to get another good push going down to 37 as Trauma gets a nice double there, and Blurry's defenses are really led astray right now.
The clam economy looks like it's going to be slowly pouring in as they try to find more to keep this going. They will find a couple more down to 25. They are having so much pressure applied here on the side of Blurry. Out of Ballistics doing a great job holding so much of this play. It's a 3v2 situation on the board. Finally, picks going off for this Nautilus, ending at 2v1 with a win. Here it is, 10 seconds left to go, 20 seconds of overtime. They have the pity clam, but they have a mountain to climb if they want to try to get this one game win.
Yeah, they're going to have to get it down to 18, and it's going to take a monster push for that to happen. Inkstorm is thrown down. We are in overtime, but there's not a lot of clams on the map, and especially that Blurry is holding. And the Power Clam user is going to die to a bomb. 2 are dead on the side of Blurry. It's all our ballistics up ahead. Wiper has the hammer at the ready. He's going to be forced to pop it, but one goes down. It's just the Wiper in mid trying to hold on for dear life. Gets one pick, is able to refresh the Power Clam, but overtime has run out, and Auto Ballistics takes the game and takes the set 3-0.
That was just so unfortunate at the end there for Blurry. The player with the power climb going down to a bomb hidden behind the tacticooler. It's just so unfortunate. Something you can't plan out or really see out of that poor line of sight that the cooler just happens to hide. Fantastic job there done though by Outer Ballistics, just being so aggressive and using all of their momentum to carry them to a win in each 3 of these games, getting a beautiful set win and a little bit more against Blurry.
Yeah, and that is going to be shaking up the standings a little bit. Auto Ballistics now up 1-2, so they have a small chance to make it into silver bracket potentially. Blurry, unfortunately, down 0-3, probably going to be making that bronze bracket, but they still have a good chance in that tournament life down there in bronze bracket. So both these teams have a strong tournament ahead of them. Wishing the best for both of them and all the rest of the teams here. But that is going to do it here in round 3. We're going to go to a short break before we come back for the final round of Swiss pools here at the Inkling Development Program. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Inkling Development Program. We are here in round 4, the final round of Swiss pools. I am Pinky, joined here by Cactus, and we got one heck of a set coming in here for the final one of pools. Two teams trying to make it into the gold bracket. It is going to be exciting for sure.
Oh, absolutely. The set we have, the little voice in my head was correct. We're going to be seeing some nice top seeding right here of Take Your Flintstone Gummies versus Astral Octopi. Astral Octopi being the team of October Rift, and Flintstone Gummies being the team of Flashpoint.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It sounds like us commentators have some friends on both of these teams. I heard Identity is definitely a player to look out for. I'm personally a big friend of ASIC myself, so I think both these teams are going to be awesome. And yeah, both these teams are 2-1 in terms of set count right now, so it's looking very likely that the team that's going to win the set is going to be moving on to gold bracket, and the team that loses the set is going to be locked down to silver bracket. So a lot on the line here for both these teams. I'm excited to see how it comes out. Pressure is on, and we're going to see how it all manifests on Zones, Barnacle, and Dime.
Oh, what a great relatively new map that we've seen come into the game, especially with zones. I mean, having such a large zone in the middle, you have the two flank routes on the side, and once you get locked out, things do get a little dangerous. Now, both these teams currently are looking at a 2-1 win record, so both of them are going to be playing at their all to try to take this next set.
Absolutely, and both of these teams, both October Rift and the team that is taking Flintstones Gummies that I briefly forgot, Flashpoint, are Div 5 teams, so relatively evenly matched, and so it should be one heck of a set, one heck of an even battle. Let's just jump right into it. Game 1, we're seeing interesting comp coming out from Astral Octopi. Take Your Flintstones Gummies a little bit more conventional, but we're seeing the E-Leader plus Dually Squelchers pick coming out from Astral Octopi.
What a great weapon cup we're seeing from both of these teams, and I mean, there is a pretty similar. You do have a little bit of the extra range with the leader and these dually sculptures from the side of Astral Flintstone Gummies, though. Oh, getting a great bomb pick. It's going to be a 3v3 on the field. Dakota looking to see if they get a pick on the side with the Zuka. Unfortunately, not going to find one, but they do have great control of the zone. The pressure is building up here, and Astral needs to try to find a way back in.
Yeah, Astral Octopi is a little bit locked out here, but they definitely have the resources to get back into the map, but they only have 2 up, actually. They're going to be locked a little bit. Leader is pretty far back, obviously, with that sniper. Tactical is going to be popped on both sides here, as both these teams are going to try and fight their way back into mid. It would be crucial for an either to get a pick here, but all the members of Flint Gummies are pretty far behind, trying to stay alive as much as possible. Myers versus Ace Tech is going to come out, go in favor of the bucket, and Take Your Flintstones Gummies are very close to getting this knockout here. Leader is forced to jump out, and that is almost all the offense gone. Shot's going to go down, and that is almost assuredly going to be a knockout for Take Your Flintstones Gummies right away in game 1.
I mean, Myra's doing an excellent job. They're playing some nice jump rope as well as the rest of the players here. 2-1-0. First game won dominantly by Flintstones Gummies, giving Astral Octopi a run for their money, going back around the planets, having to figure out now a new attempt at what these next couple games could look like, because that was a phenomenal job done by Flintstones Gummies for this first game.
That was just incredibly dominant from Take Your Flintstones Gummies. I mean, it was 100-0, a barely over a minute match. It was just lights out, in and out pretty quick, and Take Your Flintstones Gummies is one step closer to potentially taking the set and potentially moving on to gold bracket. Astral Octopi kind of has their backs against the wall here. They're going to have to make some adaptations here and now, and we're going to see how it all manifests as we go to game 2 on Rainmaker Humpback Pump track.
Rainmaker Humpback, a classic, coming back with so many other map mode combinations from Splatoon 2. This map mode combination, especially adding that new little bit of a flank route on the side for the first checkpoint pedestal, second route. You know, if you're not paying too close attention to that, now having your map open, not keeping at least one player's eyes over there, you're looking at a dangerous time if you're unable to catch the flank when pushing through the elbow, which most teams opt to take. It should be a very scary situation if it done correctly. And again, both these teams, we both know they've been doing very well so far this tourney. They've, again, placed pretty high seeding for a reason. They both are coming with this aggression that they need to. They both have the strategies that they have been building up from their coaches, and they know what they have to do to try to win some of these games. So interesting to see what the comes might look like. You know, leader's still fairly good on this map, but we could see that change. Coming from the side of Flintstone's Gummies, though, their comp was solidified. Their comp was solid. It looked amazing. It, dare I say, was close to meta. I don't think they're going to change too much of that comp.
Yeah, after Occupy, probably going to change things here. I don't see either being too amazing just because of how fast this map plays. Because, like, you get to that first checkpoint fast, and if you go, if it can be lights out with just one team fight, especially with tactical after ready. We might use some Inkvac because Inkvac is just so nice for brute forcing your way, get as many points as possible. But something about Rainmaker Humpback is that no lead is safe. It's kind of like Rainmaker Blackbelly was back in the old days, where the only safe lead is a knockout because it's incredibly easy to just muscle your way to a lead of 5 points or less. So both these teams are going to have to be on edge for pretty much the entirety of this game until a knockout comes through. So going to be looking forward to see how both these teams react to these situations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the strongest thing that helps with that is going to be the ups and downs of this map itself. I mean, so many ramps on the sides. Even coming through from the plat, you just have so many dips that even a Zuka shot doesn't have a challenge for. We're seeing the same comp coming out from Astral, Octopi, and Flintstone's Gummies, looking like opt for the Ballpoint Nouveau. What an interesting pick. Inkvac, of course, being very strong on this map, especially with Rainmaker. Top first goes to Astral Octopi.
Yeah, after Occupy getting a good amount of mid control off rip, but this opening team fight is going to be so telling for this game. Reggie's going to go down. Myers once again popping off with this bucket, getting that shot, and that means no Zuka's going to be out. And the Inkvac is already out in full force, and that's going to be Flintstone's going to be taking a firm control of mid right now. And after Occupy is incredibly pushed back, Flintstone's Gummies is going to immediately grab that tactical and go right for that first checkpoint on the right side, looking to get it, and they are going to break through that checkpoint. Wonder if Astral Occupy is able to break through and come around, but they are likely going to go down. Yeah, there we go. Tri-Strikes are out. Rainmaker's already back in control. Take your Flintstones Gummies, and this is slowly starting to get out of hand for Astral Octopi.
Oh my goodness, yes, they are down to 7 points. A 2v2 on the map. Flintstones Gummies. The aggression was there. The pressure was in. Things got so dangerous so quickly, and now Astral Octopi trying to run this for Maker out. ID just somehow getting a pick, or was that Myris that got it when the camera switched over? Amazing job just staying alive there to make that almost 3 players down on the side of Astral Radiance. Complete wipeout as Rainmaker goes down as well. Flintstones Gummies is just dominant right now in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the scores are not even close at this point, but like I said, the only safe lead is a knockout lead, so there's a tiny window of opportunity for Astral Occupy, but they're going to have to make it count. First things first, got to get the pick on that Rainmaker, and they do just that. Now they have to hit on Coda, and they do just that. That's going to be a delayed wipe on Flintstones Gummies. Astral Occupy has a little bit of safety net left in this game, has to get a ton of control in mid. They're doing just that, trying to push forward towards that left checkpoint here, but the ballpoint is going to defend it with that Inkvac. Fly's just going to push up right through it. It's going to be so difficult to hit. Picks are of the essence here for Astral Occupy. Fly's going to go down there to ASEC, and it looks like mid is going to be a little bit of battle going in favor of Astral Occupy. These dually sculptors trying to make something happen and try and spearhead the offense for Astral Occupy, but this Rainmaker timer is starting to run a little bit low.
Yeah, they have to try to go for this checkpoint now. They might have a little bit of an opening with the fact that the Rainmaker's in this tricky spot with all of their specials being popped out. It's a 2v2 on the map. Looks like they're going to try to go for this jump for the pedestal, and no, canceled out by the Zuka at the very last second. Reggie having to back up, try to hold jumps for their teammate here in mid. Flintstones Gummies getting their Rainmaker pop, having Zuka online. They're looking to see if they can make this in. They're going to have to pick up the Rainmaker. Here comes the Zuka, unable to get one. With one more Zuka shot left, it is shot out. No players picked up from the side, but with so much control in mid, 2 players down in Astral. Flintstones Gummies causing the members to fall down. The Rainmaker pushing for the pedestal. The last player's behind, and they aren't able to stop the Rainmaker. 3 players had to jump back from respawn. Flintstones Gummies takes a dominant game number 2.
Absolutely insanely well played by Flintstones Gummies. They got 3 pushes on that pedestal there, going for that knockout. Third time was finally the charm, and Flintstones Gummies can rest a little bit easy. They're up 2-0. The set is in their hands, and they are likely going to go to gold bracket with that performance. Absolutely incredibly done by Flintstones Gummies. 2 incredibly dominant games in their favor. Just so well played.
Absolutely, just non-stop holding so much pressure onto the side of Octopi. I mean, it's just truly, putting in work, making sure that, Astro Octopi, you can't get away. You have to take your Flintstones gummies that have been sitting in the closet for 20 years and that they give them. And with one more game to go, because this is a play all three, take your Flintstones gummies is looking to see if they could solidify a nice 3-0 here.
Yeah, they want that clean sweep because they just have so much momentum building. Astro Octopi just trying to get on the board here as we go to game 3 on tower control on Surgeon Shipyard, which we're starting to see a little bit of resurgence in Surgeon in map pools, so that is definitely interesting to see. A lot of work is going to have to be done around those 2 checkpoints, though. They are massive bottlenecks and pretty easy to contest, but if you are able to force your way through it, it can spell disaster for the enemy team.
Absolutely. Disaster is the last thing both these teams need, especially if you're on the side of Astro Octopi. You wanted to try to at least take one game to, it's solidified probably this far in, as this is the last round that you will be most likely making your way into silver bracket, but who knows, it comes down to the most games you're able to win, and who knows, maybe taking this one game could solidify you a sneaky path into the gold bracket. So 100% Astro Octopi looking to try to take at least one game if possible, and it's gonna have to be a dominant one, because tower control in Surgeon Shipyard gets very tricky after that first checkpoint. It is almost a steamroll if teams are able to solidify it on the snipe and the bridge on Surgeon Shipyard, just holding so much control. Things could get dangerous as now we make our way into this final game of this 4th round.
Yeah, game 3, the last game of the last round of Swiss. Scores are going to be settled either way, and heads are probably going to roll. It looks like Astro Octopi sticking with the same comp. Take your Flint gummies going back to that vanilla ballpoint, ready for some inkjet action. No more need of that ink vac, and Identity is going to try and get as many inkjet snipes as possible, I would presume.
Oh, absolutely. If they're able to apply a lot of pressure on that leader, because look at the hold it has right now on the map. Getting that leader picked off is going to be huge. Here comes the Inkjet trying to find one. Can they find a pick on the dualies? But no, they won't. And unfortunately, it's going to cause the player to DC, and these teams are going to have to stop the game, return back to the lobby, and get that player back in. We paid too much for this game, man.
Not like this. Hey, game of the year, multiplayer game of the year 2022, but I guess the times have caught up a little bit. We might need a new netcode, please, Nintendo.
That's all we could try to ask for at this point in the game. But we saw some great, even though it was like 30 seconds to a minute long, we did see some excellent plays being made right off the bat. We saw the early Inkjet trying to get a pick on the dualies. We did see some pressure being held off. We did see the tower getting whipped a little bit. So these players are going to come in with a lot of aggression on both sides. The leader, if they're able to get it set up, is going to try to apply a lot of that just scared pressure of like, don't get picked off. All it takes is one quick little flick and you could be down for the count. So getting that leader picked off is going to be huge for Take Your Flintstones gummies, but for Astro Octopi, it's just going to have to be holding a lot of that aggression, holding a lot of that pressure, getting that ballpoint down whenever they can, maybe getting a couple of the shooters down, maybe in the Slosher, because the Slosher has a lot of opportunities when it comes to those ledges.
Yeah, Slosher is incredibly strong on this map, especially with the Tri-Strikes to stall the tower beautifully. I think the game for Astro Octopi is just do whatever possible to stop that snowball from rolling, because Take Your Flintstones gummies has been shown to play extremely well with momentum, so it's going to be tough for Astro Octopi to stand up to the assault, but they have to do just that should they wish to take this game or even prevent that assault from even happening. So we should shortly be getting back into the lobby, hopefully getting things situated right quick as we head into game 3 of the last round of Swiss, this time for sure.
These players loading in one more time. Hopefully the last time they have to see this map mode combination, but probably not. Who knows what the bracket will bring. Comps, of course, still staying the same. We did see the ballpoint switching back to the vanilla. We do see just the regular dualies coming out from ASEC on the side of Astro Octopi. Both these teams now taking back their retrospective positions. Specials being built up right off the bat. We do see Dora on the E-leader trying to find a pick early on if they can. Both these teams know a little bit of what these players are helped for. ID on the Inkjet, looking to see if they can find a pick. It's a trade-off on the left side of the map. ID trying to help with on the sides, get a pick on one other player. Fly looking, try to find another pick. Yes, they will. Great job there. As we see here, just being a menace, getting picked off as no team has yet trying to find the push tower.
Yeah, Take Your Flintstones Gummies is going to be the first to push this tower, but they are a member down. Zuka is at the ready for Astral Occupy, which can certainly help on the defense here. But the bigger thing is that Astral Occupy's positioning is pretty far back compared to where Take Your Flintstones Gummies is. And now this Inkjet is going to be popping, trying to disperse the positioning even more. Tri-Spirits are going to be popped as well. Take Your Flintstones Gummies only now just starting to push the tower a little bit, but the amount of control they have is absolutely insane. And yeah, 2 members go down on Astral Occupy because of it. And this leader's in a very awkward spot. Koda's 10 ready to jump out, and here comes Myris on this slaughter, getting a beautiful pick on the leader as Take Your Flintstones Gummies trying to just get this first checkpoint in their favor. One is forced to jump out of Fight Club on Astral Occupy, and that is the checkpoint. Almost surely falling, just 1 point short. Flint Gummies just has to touch it, and there we go. Checkpoint finally going in their favor.
What a great push done by Flintstones Gummies. Astral getting called out. There goes Reggie underneath. ID getting a beautiful pick with the Inkjet on the side. Getting another nice shot from so far away. ID is a menace with that Inkjet, and they're just going to lead this push even further now, climbing down those points, heading to that second checkpoint.
I thought that Zuka was going to hit that leader. My goodness, ID. That Inkjet is insane. Hyped up for a reason, and now Astral Occupy is scrambling, trying to have whatever defense possible. Take Your Flintstones Gummies was not quite able to break that second checkpoint, but getting it down to 32 is devastating, and they are still here, still putting on pressure into the enemy court. Look at all this blue paint around the map. Take Your Flintstones Gummies in a phenomenal spot. Inkjet is going to fall off the map, but that is going to be Fly here with the assist. Inkjet's going to recall right onto the tower, keep this push going a little bit more for Take Your Flintstones Gummies. Duelist Coach was trying to schmix a little bit on the Grace, but the Zap is going to force him to retreat. And now, I mean, Take Your Flintstones Gummies has so much control in the enemy court. Finally starting to back away as the picks are coming out from Astral Occupy, but this is so much time being wasted that Take Your Flintstones Gummies will happily do.
Wow, I mean, just the pressure that Flintstones Gummies is putting on Astral Occupy is truly incredible. Every time you think they're able to just get out, here comes Flintstones Gummies being a menace, just like that opening is for that poor player falling into the abyss, having to come down back from respawn with their special. Unfortunate. But here we go. Astral Occupy finally looking like they're taking some space, getting one player down, looking for a second, and hopefully they're going to finally opt to push a checkpoint to try to get some points.
Yeah, Reggie's able to get a nice pick with, I believe, that Suction Bomb. It goes down themselves. Astral Occupy trying to push up into the core, but the tower is so far behind at that first checkpoint. This is a little bit scary, but Astral Occupy able to get that first checkpoint. 2 players are down for them, though, and this tower is pretty far behind, only at 56 points. They need to get it down to 31 if they want to get this lead, and it looks like Flintstones Gummies is going to be pushing all around. Coda gets the beautiful pick onto Reggie, though. That's going to stop most of the offense that Astral Occupy has, and the tower is going to slowly return to mid, but at least Astral Occupy has that first checkpoint broken. They have that going for them. Should they be able to push again? But right now, it's just all about getting control. And with 2 dead on Flint Gummies, they are doing exactly that.
Myris though sharking behind, causing some trouble for Astral Occupy, getting a great pick on one. They're trying to see if they can end with the bomb. No, they will get called out and picked off, but that's 2 players down. They do get the first checkpoint, which is huge. This is what they need. They have to try to move it forward. But ID on the Inkjet gets a beautiful pick on ASEC. They're looking for another. ID's Inkjets have just been popping off at just such weird angles. It makes it impossible for Astral Occupy to get the Inkjet out. It is truly a dangerous situation, and here they are, 50 seconds left on the clock. Jumps coming in. Flintstones Gummies looking to solidify a lead and mid control for the rest of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. 40 seconds left, and Take Your Flintstones Gummies is in a dominant position right now. Astral Occupy is going to need a bit of a miracle push to make this happen. We've seen miracles happen before, but 3 are dead on Astral Occupy, and that tower is slowly moving into their court. ID on this Inkjet, trying to make some more miracles happen, hopping onto this tower a little bit just to get a little bit more of that tower touch, a little bit more of that special charge. And right now, Take Your Flintstones Gummies just has a commanding control on the map right now. ID is just going to sit back, get picks from afar. 2 go down on the side to Take Your Flintstones Gummies, but Astral Occupy is still struggling to regroup here. They have some on the tower. It's going to come down to this fight. Myers gets the pick onto Tabby, though, right quick. 5 seconds left in this game until we get to overtime. Trying to get the pick onto Zuka. Myers is trying to find this pick, not able to get it, though. 2 left on Astral Occupy, just the zap, and that is going to be it. Take Your Flintstones Gummies are going to take that set 3-0 and likely find themselves in the gold bracket. Well played by them. 3 incredibly strong games.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Just the dominance that Flintstones Gummies had on Astral Octopi that entire set, not even just those games, finding their way in and out, causing trouble, whether that be through sharks, team plays, special usage, you name it. They are just so well coordinated and use their momentum to solidify so many great plays and so many just fantastic games. Congratulations to them on winning this set, solidifying 100% gotta be a position into that gold bracket. And Astro Octopi, don't let this set get you down. Still played phenomenally. We had some amazing plays we did see come around through each one of these games, and the tourney is not over yet. There's still an opportunity, still a chance to take home some gold.
Yeah, for sure. But it seems like all of the sets in this group are finishing. Yeah, Astral Octopi is going to be locked into that silver bracket, just so close to making gold. But I believe they have a phenomenal shot in the silver bracket, and I believe Taker Flintstones Gummies has a great gold bracket ahead of them. So looking forward to it. Looks like all the sets in Group E are done. Group A is just a little bit behind, but that being said, that is going to be the end of the group stage and the end of our commentating block, Cactus. But before we go, gotta ask, where can we find you?
You could find me over on Twitter, YouTube, and even Blue Sky at Glitched Cactus, and you could find me on Twitch streaming my own tourneys and streams. Maybe my cat made stream when it comes this week. Yeah, it's happening. Over at Glitched Cactus 1 and Pinky. Where can the fantastic audience find you?
You guys can find me at Twitter at BrokenPinky_. You can see the ad on the screen. I'm also on Blue Sky at Broken Pinky. I might start using it a little bit more as time goes on. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Cactus for helping me as a wonderful co-commentator on this bracket. We will see you guys in just a bit with the final bracket stages of the Inkling development program.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Inkling Development Program Tourney 1. I am J King, and I am joined by Kyon. How are you doing today?
It's a beautiful Sunday out there. It's actually sunny outside for me, so definitely enjoying it. I actually really like what Inkling Development Program's doing over here, for sure. So I'm really excited to see how this bracket stage turns out. But same to you. How are you doing?
I am doing insanely well. Like, when I heard about this tournament, I was definitely very excited because it's so cool being able to see that, like, so many lower level teams, like, that are still low link eligible, being able to be coached by such, like, higher level players and everything, seeing how much progress they can actually make. It is such a fun way to really get them, like, higher into the divisions and really show off what they can actually do. And I just think it's such a cool idea.
I think one of the most underrated aspects is just being coached by a team who's been proven time and time again, just up there in those higher divisions, and you're basically getting the coaching of, okay, this is kind of how you should do things, and anything even related to, like, stuff even related to, like, how to play the maps and whatnot. I think that's a really underrated aspect of how to grow together as an established team, or even if you're a team that's just getting yourself started and trying to figure out, okay, well, we started off as a team, now we got to figure out what to do next. I think it's just genuinely really cool, and I want to see how the progress starts playing out here in brackets.
Definitely. I think with the way that brackets have been going, I definitely think it's been pretty interesting. But as we say that, we have our first few teams coming out right now. We have Sheer Cold repping Assault and Basil, which is being coached by Assault and Pepper, and then we have Velocity, or for Velocity coaching Forgotten, also known as Displacement Over Time, which, as I said before the stream, is a very clever like way to name them. So I just love all the names and the way they named them, like, throughout this entire tournament. It's been one of my favorite things.
Yeah, so yeah, just before we went on the area, we took a look at some of the names here. Displacement Over Time, I'll bluntly admit it took me maybe a few seconds to really understand where that name came from, and then I had to think about it. I was like, velocity. Oh, right, duh. That's how it all works. And yes, Salt and Basil, definitely. I definitely got that part as well. So I think there was a lot of really creative names out there for the teams they're coaching. Of course, the team names that are part of it. So, but we do have, as you mentioned, Sheer Cold and Forgotten, of course, representing the teams, representing different names, of course, because of course with Salt, Pepper, and Velocity coaching them. So I'm actually really excited to see how this matchup pans out.
For sure. Definitely, like, this is going to be a very exciting map, especially with our first map, which is going to be Ship Shape Zones. This is, in my opinion, one of the, like, a very, very big back and forth map, because even though there are a lot of lockout opportunities, especially, like, once you're able to get pushed up, you're watching over on left side, over to their pit and everything, you can definitely have a lot of angles to really cut them off. What's your thoughts on this map?
I'm pretty much sharing the exact same thoughts as yours. It's also one of the zones where you have the big zone, but there's also there's also pretty much that the arcing areas to the left and right, of course, that can just cut things off. So I think it's also susceptible to different weapons that might get picked to allow very quick caps of the zone. So I wouldn't be surprised if both teams want to try to go for something like that. Hey, maybe the teams that are coaching them, Salt and Pepper and Velocity, might be trying to tell them otherwise. We're about to load right into it, J King.
I was about to say, speaking of that, like, seeing a bunch of different weapons, I feel like one of the things that really sets a lot of teams apart is that, obviously, with how strong Zuka has been in this meta, I wonder if we'll see a lot of them, because in a lot of the matches I've personally run on this map, like, we have either gone against or run quite a few Zuka comps, but it actually seems like we're going to see a fairly even amount with just one on each team. I think they're trying to go for a bit more of a balance right now.
Yeah, so the big equivalents for both teams that they got coolers, they got Zukas, and they got ultra stamps actually. So any of the weapons that we're about to see there is we're about to see control taken for displacement over time. Make that 2 down really quickly though. That's what they wanted to dish out right away, and I definitely I actually really like this idea that they have though. Trizuka, one of the more popular specials in the game, of course. Cooler, of course, you see them everywhere else. You add to the speed, and then of course the quick respawn times. And then you get the Ultra Stamp, likely to help carve out a path for the zone. So I really like some of the choices they have here. Right now, displacement over time with the zone.
Definitely. I feel like just like displacement over time is really doing, they are just trying their best to really put their opponents in a lot of different like kind of scramble positions, especially running something like the Sorella Tent right now. Sorella Tent, in my opinion, is insanely strong, especially on a map like this, but I feel like compared to Assault and Basil, they lack a little bit of the paint power, considering with both the tent and the bow, while they can paint pretty well compared to something like a Zap or a Shot that both of them are running, is that it's a little bit more difficult to really keep up with the efficient paint, especially since Assault and Basil is really running a ballpoint right now.
Exactly. I think you raise a very strong point. Painting may be one of the weaknesses that displacement over time is going to have to work with, and it kind of shows a little bit in spades there. If you do see again two down right away on displacement over time, Cloud dishes out the Ultra Stamp right away, and it is able to get one that's going down right away there. Salt and Basil is going to be slowed down just a tiny bit. Both teams are kind of just contesting with the zone. Things are staying in neutral for a bit of time. So I think, as you mentioned though, I would like for displacement over time. I think some of the key things you want to look out for is if they can get so much value out of that Sorella Tent Umbrella and the Tri-Stringer, the Inkling Tri-Stringer, if I'm not mistaken. There, Carlos does get one with that Trizuka, and then even gets another member on point blank range as well. Again, it's just everything's kind of slowing down in mid as we speak.
Definitely. I think they're definitely trying to take the game a little bit slower right now. We do actually see the bow popping the super jump, just trying to really kind of get that zone back into their control, but it's definitely starting to become very difficult with 2 going down on both sides. I believe we did see the Jet. The Jet is definitely finding a lot of value. It's probably going to go back over to Assault and Basil right now. Very well played for Fizzini there onto the ballpoint, so this could definitely be a bit of a momentum shifter here, as long as they can play it out correctly.
Yeah. The key thing is that they quickly get capped the zone, and then again, I'm gonna highlight here the painting is gonna be insanely key. But you already lost 2 right away, and they're just collapsing onto the rest of Assault and Basil. But this is gonna give Assault and Basil some time to at least get some more points down before they may inevitably, keyword is inevitably, get the zone back, as this Ultra Stamp's gonna secure it back for them. So displacement over time, from what I'm noticing so far, winning a decent chunk of fights and some control despite losing members in key moments. So now they're just trying to push up with their advantages. You got the Tent Umbrella just helping provide that extra shield there. Carlos is just dishing that out right now. And now we got the Trizuka trying to fight with the Zap. Actually trades.
What in the world was that trade there? But like, as you brought up, there's definitely a good point with the way that displacement over time is playing right now, is that like, compared to a lot of the weapons that Assault and Basil are playing, they definitely have a lot of ways to really pressure them out. Like, we have the Brella, which definitely causes a lot of problems. It, like, can lock out a lot of certain areas, especially being able to, like, hide behind it as they pop the Zuka. But as we can see here, displacement over time is just playing it so perfectly, easily going to take it to a Game 1 victory. So, well played for them. And going back to that real quick, something else I noticed is that, like, one of the things that they did have a huge advantage on was actually with their Wiper. Because the thing about the Wiper is that it definitely is like, it slightly outranges a lot of like short range shooters, kind of like a Tri-Slosher. So if you're able to really play strafing properly, like you're able to like move around in a very good way compared to like someone who may have some slightly off aim when using something like a shooter, you definitely can already take that advantage, because once you get that pick, it immediately enables you to move up as long as you don't get traded out.
I think exactly as you mentioned. I think with that Wiper advantage, taking out a decent, basically outrange a lot of the weapons as you mentioned, like the Zap and possibly the shot there on top of it as well. I think you bring up a very valid point there. Is like you're able to get the range advantage entirely, and then again with the way displacement over time really just played that overall. I think it was very slow and methodical, and then just did not give Assault and Basil any chance to really just contest that zone the entire way through. Even though there was, as you mentioned, probably a significant painting advantage that Assault and Basil did have, they just weren't able to take full advantage of it, and I think it just came down to it's just great Sorella Tent Umbrella usage, and then everybody on displacement over time just kind of spraying Assault and Basil around. So it was just a very tough contest overall, but really good start for displacement over time.
Definitely. I think overall with displacement over time, they definitely had a lot more of a pressure heavy comp considering what they were running. Like they had multiple ways to deal with a lot of long range pressure, especially coming up from the ballpoint. Like the tent had a lot of easy ways to just really get into certain angles, especially if they had the Zuka ready. Same with the super chumps coming out from the bow, and the bow just is a very, very strong weapon regardless. So like the way that they were playing definitely had a lot of counterplay, which I thought was very well played, but I wonder if we're going to see something coming out from the counter pick here, which is going to be Inkblot TC.
This is a very fascinating counter pick, actually. I think they're just trying to remove some of the advantages that the other team had in displacement over time, trying to run with something similar to that. But I would be very impressed to see how this is gonna pan out here for Assault and Basil. I think they had pretty much a very typical comp you kind of just see everywhere. You have the Zap, the Wiper, and the I guess Hero Shot replica, which Basil would just be the closest thing we're gonna have on top of it. So I think they might be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to run something similar for this particular counter pick map. So let's see what Assault Basil has in their doorstep and for displacement over time. I want to see if they adjust to this counter pick here. And as we do see some of the weapons, yeah, pretty much the exact same thing on the other side for displacement over time. Actually, I think they're gonna just stick to something similar, except the Neo Splash is making a sighting.
It's definitely pretty interesting because they're choosing not to run a cooler comp here, which is actually incredibly interesting, especially for a map, or especially for a mode like Tower Control. Tower Control, just like Rainmaker, is a very momentum-heavy mode where, like, you want to be able to get those quick respawns, especially if you have advantage. You don't want to really give your team you don't want to give the other team time to really get back in. You want to be able to just keep pressuring, but we do see Corki getting very aggressive, is able to find one, but Wings is able to find a very good trade there for their teammate, just trying to fall back, but the Wiper is definitely playing a little bit more aggressive, trying to get him out of their current position over on right ramp, just taking control of bats at this point.
Yeah, and I need to see how this push continues to develop there. That's a ballpoint pick onto Beto there from Fizney there. So I'm actually really excited to see how this continues to play out as Tower is still being pushed on that direction. And I mean, at this point, both teams kind of just stuck around this mid area displacement over time. Though they got two specials they can take advantage of. Drilling Strikes is being popped right away. So and I think that's really all that's going to be is just trying to get some Basil out of there. They are going to get this lead early, and that Trizuka shot just well placed overall from Kronos on top of it. And it is going to be the first checkpoint cleared for displacement over time, J King.
That is once that first checkpoint is clear, in my opinion, that is when you really see a lot of the momentum really swap over to the team that cleared it. But as we can see here, it's already they were at a bit of a man disadvantage, but displacement over time is just able to hold this. Wings is playing very well with the bow. They do have a jump and they are able to get the trade, but unfortunately one does go down. Cloud is currently the last alive. 3 currently down on displacement over time. This could be the advantage that Assault and Basil needs, especially because of the way that they're playing. Displacement over time is just playing so aggressive. They're really trying to find those picks, really take those aggressive angles, as we saw from the Zuka shot earlier, but they were able to get an immediate pick over on a bat, so that's definitely starting to become a little bit tight for Assault and Basil right now. They have to try and get through this first checkpoint.
Big thing too is that if I'm not mistaken, that's the second checkpoint that was cleared off. But Corey is just trying to find some value out of the Trizukas right away. And as you mentioned, they got to get through this first checkpoint, and then some more. They got to take advantage of really the pain that this comp does allow. Trizuka really isn't going to help a whole lot. So. Lot on top of it. The Neo Splash is going to help try to cover for some of it. So if they can overrun the rest of displacement over time with this comp that they have, it's going to be insanely key. They go 2 down. Yes, the lead has been switched the other way, but that push is done. It's just a lone ballpoint with an H that is available, but I think the ballpoint is going to think otherwise and just retreat to safety there. Wiper goes down. I think jump got punished entirely. Hey, 40 points remaining. They are able to get 2 checkpoints out of it. And hey, it's on Basil with the lead.
Assault and Basil do have the lead, but also we got to remember that, especially with the way that Inkblot plays, is that once somebody is able to really get in control of bats, something like the Wiper with the hammer currently, or the Brella, if you're able to really control those areas, it's going to be very, very difficult for your opponent to really push back in, especially once you start getting a lot of team wipes, and especially a big team fight like we see right now. 2 going down on displacement over time. We do see the hammer coming out. Is going to be a full wipe for Assault and Basil there. Very well played, but they do still have 2 minutes left. Displacement over time is not out just yet. They still have plenty of time to really try and get back here.
Definitely not out of the woods for displacement over time, but I think I just love the great hold from Salt and Basil in defense there. Just great usage of the Ultra Stamp, and then everybody else just kind of trying to corner them. And now I do see Salt and Basil just trying to get the tower pushing right along, and then displacement over time is just way all over this one. You mentioned before they're just trying to find some of these aggressive pushes there. Any of the off angles that they can have. Cloud just finds the lone squid just stuck in the corner and then just stamps all over him. And at this point, displacement over time, just able to continue on with this push so far. Key thing here, too, the second checkpoint was just cleared. So as long as they can keep up this aggressive momentum, it's going to be insanely key. But at the end of the day, though, they already lose 3 on top of this. And this push is effectively done. Assault and Basil, again, they hold on defense.
Cloud was definitely trying to find a lot there, just trying to get over pretty aggressive over on the bats, but the Jet really just not able to find. The Jet was unfortunately not really able to do much there, but it was able to get back and really stop the push. We do see the Splash here trying to find a pick, but unfortunately it's not really going to be able to do much. Beto playing very well on that Wiper. They do have Hammer ready. They're probably going to get up onto bats through that rail and then pop the Hammer, but I'm not fully sure what we're going to see. The Wiper is currently watching. I mean, the Bow is currently watching them very well played there. Very good pick. It is going to be 2 down on Assault and Basil. It's going to be a 3 down situation, and they're just trying to push it as much as they can, but no, it is going to be taken back by displacement over time, and a Chumpin not going to be able to find any value there.
Yeah, Chump ain't gonna find any value on top of it, and now this is pretty much displays over time. This is their time to shine, and now you get to see 4 specials. Can they find value with all 4 of them, dear J. King? Kronos is gonna get 1 and 2 with the Trizuka shots. Key. That is insanely key. And then the Stamp, I think it just took out 1 on top of it. Delayed triple. Now we can see this tower continue to push right along. This has to be the defense. Again, Assault and Basil has done it before, but it looks like this tower stays it right there. It's 2, it's 3, and it's not going to be anybody leaving the tower at all, J. King. And displacing over time, able to run it back. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have won this set overall 2-0.
I believe they did win this set overall 2-0. Good Lord, what was that hold that we saw? The thing about it is that with the way that the Brella was playing, can we talk about that Brella having so many,
yeah.
I will say, those 2 initial picks that they got over on bats with the Zuka, that right there was insanely crucial because it really put them at a disadvantage. But the thing is that they were really trying to get the respawn because they had the cooler buff. They were getting back immediately. They had the Jet to really come back from it. But unfortunately, it wasn't really able to do much. The Brella was able to just hold on for that much longer and just find that ending that they really needed to take that game. So that was an absolutely insane hold there from displacement over time.
I mean, the Salt and Basil, time and time again, they just needed probably a few extra seconds just to get themselves grouped together to hold, to stop this displacement over time push from happening. But as you mentioned earlier, and pretty much what I was also going to note there too, that Trizuka gained 2 right away. Quick man disadvantage on top of it, and then I saw the Hammer as well to take out 3 down. Respawn timers at this point won't be favoring Assault and Basil. They have to just completely stagger in and then just force to stop that way. But displacement over time stayed disciplined, and overall, I highlighted there as well 4 specials. They're very patient with the specials there. They knew they had one last push to make it happen. So, hey, great patience with special, and then wait for the right time to use it. It was just excellent gameplay overall from displacement over time.
Yeah, just the way that they were playing was absolutely insane. Just really trying to find a lot of crucial picks and a lot of crucial angles. Like, the thing about Inkblot is that if you were able to really get control of bats, especially in a situation like that, it is going to cause a lot of problems, like, going into the future. Because if you're not really able to get them out of there, you're not really able to coordinate your specials to really push them off bats, at least using a strike or something to just try and displace them out, or at least push them slightly back. That way it gives you an easy way to drop. Like, it's going to immediately start to cause a little bit of havoc. So, like, with the way that they were playing, it was so insanely, like, fun to watch, and seeing how both teams were just clashing with their aggressive playstyles, but also seeing how they were able to swap up so well to a defensive playstyle when it really required it.
I mean, to your point, it was basically, I think it was almost methodical in the sense for Assault and Basil. I think they tried to go for a more methodical takeing as much painting territory as much as they can, and then but then it's just completely counter on the other side. That displacement over time, they go aggressive with that inline tri-stringer, the Sorrel Tenebral, which just got so much value out of the Trizukas, and just even the Tent Shield itself. I think a lot of it just really enabled that team to just play to their strengths and advantages overall. So if you're Velocity, you got to be very proud with the team that you coach, for sure. Just being able to show up and then just be able to take out Sugar Cold plus the Salt and Pepper on top of it there too. So hey, lots of credit to them. I mean, hey, it just paid off in spades.
Definitely, like, with the way that they were playing, there was definitely a lot of payoff. I feel like when, like, with the way that they were playing, they definitely should try and just pick themselves back up, because like they played insanely well, especially with the way that both teams were playing. It was just like, displacement over time definitely has to have a lot of momentum going into these next few sets, and I definitely expect them to really just try and keep up this momentum that they're rolling with, because with the way that they have been playing, if they're able to just keep it that way, their coach definitely has to be proud, just like you said. And I'm very curious to see what we're actually going to see, like, coming out from them, if we're going to see them get pretty dang far into the tournament. But that is definitely going to be interesting, especially since we do have our next match upcoming very, very soon. So I'm definitely very excited for that. It is going to be Div Y being coached by Myopsidus, aka Mitosis, in this one. And then we got Ink Black, or Not Yo Funny Up, being coached by Get Yo Money Up, which is one of my favorite teams out of this entire naming convention.
It was Not Yo Funny Up, huh? That was such a great name on top of it too. And hey, I've recognized Ink Black in many different places. I've cast them before. Like, I think I covered them in Low Ink as well. So just to see this team get coached by Get Your Money Up is going to be very fun to watch in this semifinals matchup. Quick check on my Toast as well. I mean, this is a team I'm also really excited to see. I see Victory in there as well, which I've casted some of their matches in the past in other orgs and places. So I think, to me, this could be a very intriguing match to see how both teams play. So hey, could possibly a very exciting semifinals matchup coming up.
Definitely, it is going to be a very exciting matchup. I've had the opportunity to go against Diffy sometimes in scrims, and they are a very, very very strong team. They definitely know what they're doing. So with going into this, I'm definitely curious to see what exactly they might have learned from Myopsidus. Same with Not Your Funny Up learning from Get Your Money Up. I'm very curious to see just overall how both of these teams might play a bit of a different style. I wonder if we're going to see some different weapon picks, especially considering the what we saw last time. But as we say that, we're going to head and getting a look at our first map, which is going to be an interesting one, which is Zones Mahi, which is something you don't see often.
So the quick note here is Mahi Zones itself is probably it's only best mode, but probably the right time to play it too, considering all the news that Mahi is going to be going through within the next week or so on as well, J King. So hey, may as well get this show up. But hey, this could be fascinating, because you have this map can be very tricky to play around. Once you cap the zone there, you basically have a lot of terrain to work with. You gotta make the block, then you can jump up, just try to lock out the rest of the other team once you get that zone secured. So I like to see how both teams want to approach it entirely. And again, very tricky map mode to start. I think they just already started queuing up right as I was trying to figure that part out.
Well, we don't need to wait for that, but I think the thing about Mahi as well is that compared to a lot of other maps, it is insanely close quartered. Like, yes, we do have a lot of it, very, very close quarter map, but when I think of close quarters, Mahi is like one of the first to pop up, because it has so many tight areas, even after the water goes down, that it's like such an insanely difficult map to really try and figure out what to do. But as we see here, we do see some pretty interesting comps. We do see some similarities coming out from both sides, such as a Zap and a Slosher, but we actually do see a C Squelcher, I mean, which is definitely pretty interesting, because we have not seen any of those just yet, I believe.
Yeah, and actually, I've noticed as well. I think you mentioned the Sea Squelcher on top of it, the Dually set for that matter. This is a weapon I think I'm very familiar with one of their players from Mitosis. Not at all surprised that they're dishing out here. So hey, great weapon choice as well. Just trying to play to their strengths and to the player's strengths on top of it. 3 down, by the way, on Nacho Funny Up. Mitosis was able to keep this one going, and now we get to see the water level dropping after hitting that 60-point marker. So map should be opening up a little bit, which may give Nacho Funny Up some time to work around. Trizuka's just trying to fire right onto Deadwood there. The Charger was just sitting here on this corner, just trying to find any snipes. But J King, Mitosis is still holding on to the zone pretty nicely.
Mitosis is just absolutely holding on to this. They are really not giving them any opportunities. As I say that, two already go down on Funny Up right now. Deadwood is just trying to hold that far right side, just trying getting in. We do see the trike coming out. Are they going to really be able to find much advantage here? No, I don't believe it is, but we do see the C dually going down. It is going to swap over to Funny Up. This definitely could be a huge advantage for them, as we see the hammer coming out is going to be able to find the zap there, which is going to be pretty crucial. Is it going to be able to find the pick on the C dually? It is very well played from them, but the Suka's going to come out. Are they going to be able to find a pick? They are! Are they going to be able to find the slosher? No! They are not going to be able to find it.
What is that? Wiper was on a mission at that point, just able to find so much from the stamp and then the slashes. Grant's not too thrilled about that one, trying to fire back on their own with a nice little double there. And yeah, Mitosis was able to retain that zone for a prolonged period of time. Nacho Funny was just trying to get themselves set up and trying to play it a little patiently there. It just gave Mitosis so much time to just clear out those points that were remaining. Now to get through these penalty points here. Sam may be able to try and value with this Ultra Stamp and is able to stamp out one. Can they find a second? No, not able to find the second right away, but it will be Nacho Funny able to get the zones cap back in their favor. So a little bit of zones trading back and forth at this point, but Nacho Funny not able to get out of those penalty points right away. Mitosis is able to get it back in the neutral for about a few seconds with all the brawling that is occurring here. J King by the end of it, Nacho Funny out of the penalty points.
Definitely, they're out of the penalty points. They're trying to really take it down, but as we saw there, two did get a very good pick over on Funny Up for Mitosis there. Mitosis is definitely playing very aggressive. They have to really watch for this zap. This zap is definitely causing a lot of havoc, especially them constantly being able to get the cooler. It is going to get aggressive, but the Wiper is going to be able to find a very good pick there. They're trying to get the zone. They're just trying to hold it. They do have the hammer. Are they going to pop it? I don't believe so. They're going to try and find a good opportunity. The Wiper is going to get taken out right as he popped the hammer. We do see the Slosher getting taken out. It is probably going to swap back to Mitosis right now. Like, yes. The thing about Mitosis right now is that they are holding such aggressive angles. They're just trying to really get in. They're not giving the Funny Up any sort of opportunity. But as I say that, it is going to see a lot of specials coming in right now.
Yeah. Now all the specials just came out there from Nacho Funny Up to at least force the zones back in the neutral, but every time Mitosis is able to counter right back and a delayed triple on top and make that, I believe, a delayed wipe, which will give Mitosis time to fully set up and make sure that Nacho Funny Up is able to run right in. One of the quick things I wanted to highlight there, Sam tried to pop that hammer out, trying to force the pick there, but then two members of Mitosis was just able to collapse it right into Sam. Sam had to basically rebuild the Sam for just a quick second there, which just gave Mitosis some time to clear out these penalty points right away. Tommy was able to help, I mean the rest of Nacho Funny Up for that matter, able to get the zones back, no problem. And Victory did go down earlier with the dually sculptures that went down fast. So Nacho Funny Up is still at least holding on. And Mitosis is just not able to get out those penalty points out of 3 points remaining. And right now, with a minute left to go, Nacho Funny Up still trying to compete.
Definitely, they're just absolutely trying their best. Funny Up is definitely having a huge comeback here, but we do see a lot of specials coming out. We do see the Zuka is not really able to find many to go down on Mitosis. This definitely could be the thing that Funny Up needs. We do see the special currently coming out. They're not really giving them any opportunity. The zone does go back to them. They're trying to just get them off, but no, the Zap is able to find a very good trade to go down on Mitosis. This is huge for Funny Up right now. They have to try and hold this, but no, to go down, it is going to be very crucial, but the Slosher does go down. The Wiper is just doing so good. Are they going to be able to find a pick? Yes, they have 3 down on Mitosis right now. Funny Up does have a hammer. Are they going to be able to find this last pick? Yes, they have to watch that beacon, but no, nobody's going to jump up. I don't think Mitosis has any time, and Funny Up will take a huge comeback right now.
That crucial pick on the shot, along with all the other members just going down, effectively affected the respawn timers that Mitosis had to work with. Effectively speaking, they had to respawn, wait for two to go in. Nacho Funny Up had a lock on that zone the entire time, and they were out of those penalty points as well. And then things were just slowly starting to stagger for Mitosis. Mitosis was all the way down to 3 points remaining. I gotta give a lot of credit to Nacho Funny Up to keep it at least competitive against Mitosis. That would have looked very, very disastrous, but they kept their cool and then found the fights that mattered when it should. And yeah, it had to come down to almost the last 20 seconds of that overall. And I mean, Mitosis just staggering in one after the other and after the other, and hey, Nacho Funny Up was able to punish them accordingly.
the way that they were playing was just so interesting because we saw a very huge momentum lead coming out from Mitosis, but I feel like the thing that started to get them a little bit is that once Nacho Funny Up started playing in a lot more team fights, really having their specials coordinated, like whenever we saw a strike coming out, we always saw like the wiper immediately having that the hammer currently ready, just ready to go in once everything was good to go. So very well played from them. But I definitely wonder what, I'm definitely curious what we're going to see coming out from the counter pick. We do see it's going to be Splat Zone's Museum. Do you think with the way that Not Yo Funny Up played last time, do you think Mitosis might try and change up their style a little bit, or possibly their comp?
I wouldn't be surprised if they tweak maybe one or a few things out of their comp or comp to make this work. I think this change into Museum de Alfonso, you're still kind of dealing with the larger zone, but at least there's a lot more terrain and a lot more flanking opportunities to work with. So I think they're trying to play to pretty much to the strengths of their entire team. So I think if anything, it's just probably a playstyle change overall. They definitely want to stick with zones. I think they just wanted to switch out to a much better map that probably suits well to their style. So I think that if anything, kind of expect the playstyles to differ a little bit. Mahi zones is kind of in these cramped quarters where there isn't really good ways to sneak up and find somebody by surprise. So I think this map can be conducive to what Mitosis wants to play.
Definitely, like, they have to try and find a lot of areas that are beneficial for them. And just like you said, with Mahi being a very, very close quarters map, like, it pretty much heavily favors something like the Wiper that we saw last game, which in my opinion was something insanely crucial for Nacho Funny Up, because the way that the Wiper was playing, they were able to find so many crucial picks, really capitalize on a lot of specials that they had. So I wonder if we might see something come out that really tries to prevent the Wiper from, like, finding a lot of good angles and really just prevent them from popping hammer, because if they aren't able to do something about that, it's definitely going to cause a little bit of havoc for Mitosis right now.
But of course, given that this is Museum, given that this is a different map overall, I wouldn't be surprised if they want to try to swap out the Wiper at all. But I think to your point though, that should be expecting the Wiper to be coming back really on the side of Nacho Funny Up. So hey, just find a way to stop the Wiper as much as you can. It's probably gonna be the key thing that Mitosis wants to keep an eye on. Maybe the coach of Mitosis there, which I believe, yeah, Myopsidus is gonna try to get them to focus a little bit more on how to deal with Nacho Funny Up. That was a game that could have easily been winnable with the way the points remain were playing out. But yeah, at the end, things were starting to crumble down a little bit. I think they're just trying to get them to refocus. That's how I can imagine how the coach is trying to get them focused, especially with this second map coming up.
Definitely, like, with the way that everything went, I definitely think that if I was in that situation, my mentality would be a little bit down. So I feel like that's the thing about going into a lot of maps like these, is that it's definitely going to be a huge mental game, especially as we're just about to get back into it. Because, if you're at a pretty good advantage and then you suddenly lose it, it's going to cause you a lot of havoc. It's going to be something pretty difficult to come back from. But we are going to see Mitosis, I believe, sticking with a very similar comp, but Funny Up is going to be sticking with the same thing pretty much. We're gonna see just overall very similar comps. So I'm definitely curious to see what exactly is gonna be a bit of a change up here.
Big sub, by the way, from Nacho Funny Up. Neptune comes in, and of course, Neptune will play the Vanilla Shot. I've seen Neptune on Vanilla Shot or something similar to that weapon before in the recent past, and is able to just get so much value out of it. So I like this substitution, and of course, the weapon change overall. I think this was very conducive to Nacho Funny Up being able to play this map accordingly. And as you mentioned with that Ultra Stamp from the Wiper of Nacho Funny Up, Sam for that matter, just able to get value right away. Mitosis already having to play from behind, 60 points remaining to go. They do take out Neptune on top of it, J King. But yeah, but already starts looking really good for Nacho Funny Up.
As I said before, like, Nacho Funny Up, like, that Wiper, if you're able to, like, really, like, play around them, it's kind of similar to a Carbon Roller, where, like, if you are able to really enable them for your team, it is going to absolutely do a lot, and it's going to find a lot of picks. So, like, the Wiper right now, especially with how good its pain output is, we're going to see another hammer coming out. It's going to be able to find a pick onto the shot there. It's going to get a throw over onto pick on the... over on the dualies. What in the world was that throw? They are going to be able to find another pick onto the slosher there. It's just, that came out of absolutely nowhere. We swap over to them, and just they look 1 centimeter and just a hammer right to the face.
That had to be a call out, or they absolutely knew where they were at all times. You could have not predicted that hammer throw to be any more perfect than it already was. And now the rest of Nacho Funny Up able to be in position to lock out Mitosis a bit, and Neptune playing that very patiently, trying to make sure that Mitosis doesn't have an entrance. And they may have pressed their advantages a little too much now, but now Nacho Funny Up takes it down to 19 points remaining, and now Mitosis trying to do the exact same thing to them. Let's see how much they can get out of this push.
I definitely think something was a little bit interesting there is that the Slosher, they were really trying to get a good push in there, trying to stall it out and use their use strikes, but it wasn't really able to find much, but they were able to get a pick on the shot there. But as we can see here, it is going to be a bit of an even fight right now, but Funny Up, I believe, is going to try and find the zone here. We do see the shot going down on their side, but the Charger of Deadwood is just currently trying to really just watch right now. Ooh, Sam, he's got to be careful. The Zap is currently pressuring, but Grant is going to be able to find a very good pick there. They're just playing so aggressive. They have to really try and take control of Plat, especially with those strikes coming out, because if they're not able to get control of Plat, it's definitely going to lead Funny Up to getting in very quickly. As you see, Sam currently contesting 2 right now.
That's Sam just went down. That's the lead change right away there, J King, and that is their wiper. Now everybody else is going to go down on top of it. Nacho Funny Up, however, losing 3. This is going to effectively be over here, J King. Knotted up here 1-1 apiece, and hey, they were able to refocus big time onto this Museum Zones map. That was just very well played there as well. And Sam getting neutralized at key moments again, just allowed Mitosis to snowball that even further into their advantage. And we get to see the seg go up 1-1, and now it's time for Nacho Funny Up to get a counter pick for themselves.
Definitely, this is definitely going to be something interesting, because this is currently a best of 5, not a best of 3, as we saw previously.
Yep.
So even if you're in a situation like this, you still have more opportunities to really come back. But I definitely think that regardless of how that game went, Nacho Funny Up definitely had a lot of momentum going in their favor, especially like right out of the gate in the early game, because don't get me wrong, you can be able to come back pretty early on, but if you have such a very, very easy opening, it's going to really snowball, because as I've said multiple times, when it comes to snowballing, you don't want to just essentially make a tiny ball and just lightly tap it down the hill. You want to be able to build that thing up and just throw it and make sure it goes. Because if you don't get a good throw, it's not going to be able to pick up any sort of momentum. And that's the thing you want to do here. You want to be able to find that opening and absolutely take it.
Absolutely, and yeah, exactly what you mentioned. They had that strong start, but just not able to build more on top of it. And then again, given how that zones map went overall, if what it came down to is just getting control of the zone and then being able to win your respective fights, and then Mitosis is just able to refocus big time when it started to matter. Once they're out of those penalty points, what Nacho Funny Up needed to do was win some of the fights and then get the zones back, and it had to be someone on the back of Sam, but as we saw, Sam getting neutralized when the lead swap was effectively going to spell disaster for Nacho Funny Up there. So they decided now, after actually not too long of deliberation, they're going to switch it over to Brimewire Springs Clan Blitz for their counter pick, which actually I think with the way that Nacho Funny Up wants to play their game so far, at least from the first 2 maps that we have seen, I think this is a very stellar pick. Clams, though, is of course, with it being Brimewire, and then, of course, being the only mode that is legal here, Clams, I think this might be a very solid choice for them, but I want to see how this develops.
Definitely, this is going to be a very, very crucial pick coming up from Nacho Funny Up, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of control for 2 reasons, and you will understand why. Zuka and Hammer.
Yep.
Zuka absolutely controls this map, especially because of how thin the mid area can be. If you see like a Charger or something on the other side, if you have a Zuka ready and you pop it without them knowing, you can get an easy shot directly over to them. And not only that, but if a Wiper is able to get on easy flanks, is able to get that Hammer up pretty fast, they have such easy routes to get up. And if the enemy team is not expecting it, the Hammer can just immediately come in and just really get their team a very quick push over onto the basket. So I feel like we're going to see something similar to that. We are going to see some pretty identical comps, which is definitely going to be very interesting, but it's one of those situations. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're just going to keep going with it.
And one of the things I want to quickly note here is playstyle differences is going to be key. You're no longer playing zones. You're on clams now. So now you got to focus on, of course, building up to a great push. obviously take control of mid and then get as many claims as you can. Get that power clam ready to go when the push is already in time. Neptune already farmed out Trizukas there. Actually, both teams already farmed out Trizukas to no value right away. Neptune's able to take out 4, and that's really all. And that's really all it's going to be. Okay, make that 2 down. Neptune already takes out 2 on top of it, and now they already got the power clan spawned up. Now they're trying to carve out this path. Sam already with this wiper. Could they fire that path out for them? No, throws the hammer right into the void. No problem whatsoever, though. And it looks like the rest of Funny Up, though, they tried to push up with the rest of their team in tow, but I think Mitosis shuts it down. A wipeout is secured here, J. King.
That was a very good wipe coming out from Mitosis. I feel like the thing that happened with Funny Up is that they were trying to really find a pick onto the C dually there, but the thing that unfortunately got them is that they focused a little bit too much. Like, when they were trying to get a good push there, they kind of focused too hard on just really going for it without worrying about the flank, and because of that, the dually was able to find a lot of easy opportunities to really come back and just get a lot of crucial picks there. But we do see Mitosis already breaking open the basket to go down on the side of Funny Up. This is definitely going to be a huge way to really get that lead extended and make sure that Funny Up has a lot to fight back for.
Shoutouts to Grant, by the way, throwing those small claims into there while the V shot was just weighing the wings, just trucking even more in. Mitosis just able to get a lot more points scored, and that's a really stellar push out of the wipeout. That is taking advantage of the wipeout here in Brinewater Clams. One of the things that can go wrong is that if you are the team that initiated the wipeout successfully, you can get that push can go from 0 to 100 very fast. Able to get that very broken and get even more points on the board. So Mitosis having to start once again from behind, but this is very familiar territory for them, and we've seen that Mitosis can come back when it matters. So I'm gonna look to see how this entire game plays out.
It's definitely going to be a bit of a tight situation for Funny Up because they had so many specials. No, he tries to get a little aggressive, but the bomb is going to catch it right as soon as they move out to the wall there. So very well played timing from Mitosis there. But we do see one currently dropping over onto left side, but they're going to have to get a jump out there. It is going to be a bit tight, but I'm not sure if they have a cooler buff at the moment, but at this point, it could definitely go either way, but Funny Up really has to try and find advantage, especially considering they do have the cooler currently coming out, and the hammer is going to find a pick. Are they going to be able to find another? No, it is going to get taken down. 2 are currently just a little bit panicked right now. We do see the chumps coming out. It is going to try and find a lot for Mitosis here, but I don't think Funny Up's going to have a lot to really play off of right now.
Yeah, I think Sam tried to initiate the hammer, just try to find any room for Nacho Funny Up to get a score in, but the rest of Mitosis were just all over it at that time. I think it was just Sam and the rest just trying to get something started for their team, and the rest of the team not really quite in position to contest. So Nacho Funny Up has to go back to square one, and this game is kind of put into this standstill here with Mitosis basically taking that only push that we saw so far. I think Mitosis' game plan probably just trying to keep get good control of mid, then trying to see if they can take out the other team with their respective painting and control that they have. Again, the big note here with their comp change, as we do see a trade of 1-for-1 on both sides. Again, Sam going down with the wiper here is you're going to be basically dealing with victory on their on the custom dually sculptures, but you also have range from Nacho Funny Up with the Spire Scope, the Zekko Finn Spire Scope, which in that case, you have, what was it? You have the triple ink strikes on top of it as well, so they can get some map control as much as they can. So I think Nacho Funny Up was just trying to play to the strengths of their comp with Brinewater, but it's not going to matter too much right now, though. Both teams kind of just brawling back and forth, and now they're just farming up the power climb, see if they get an even bigger push for themselves, J. King.
Definitely, they're really trying to find a pretty big push here. I feel like the thing that is definitely giving Funny Up a little bit of a problem is that Sam is just trying to go in with that wiper. Are they going to try and escape? No, they're not going to be able to get out. Very good pick coming up from Vic there, but at the same time, they're really trying to find something here. That Vic is going to get a very good pick onto the Chargers there. They do still have the power clam over on Funny Up, but it's going to be a very tight situation. They're trying to avoid Sam with that wiper right now, but they're going to get taken out by the Slusher. There's currently a 2-down situation, and they're not really going to be able to do much. They do only have about 30 seconds left. I feel like the thing with the way that they're playing is that despite them being able to coordinate their specials well, it seems like Sam over on the wiper is just going in a little too solo at times. They're really trying to find a lot of crucial picks without really trying to wait for their team. But we do see the Slusher playing very aggressive. Are they going to be able to find a pick on Neptune? No, they're not. Or Neptune is currently trying to hold them off. Very well played here. So They're going to try and do their best to just try and get back here, especially considering they have just a few seconds left and is about to go into overtime. This is insanely crucial. What in the world was that Zuka shot coming out from Mitosis, just stopping them dead in their tracks?
Wow. Yeah, that Zuka shot was a direct hit onto the Spider Scope, and now everything started to completely fall apart here, J King, and that's 2-1 in favor of Mitosis. I think you brought up a lot of valid points there. Trying to go further, Sam, I think, was just trying to initiate something for their team. I think that's really what it's trying to be. With the way Brine Water is set up, you only have really like one true route in. You could take the Ink rails as well, maybe a little slow though, and doesn't give you much of a pathing to work with. So I think they're trying to have Sam. I think the idea, I believe, is that they had Sam trying to initiate with the Viper, then try to use the Sam to get any sort of value they can. But Mitosis just reads all over that every time. You only see Sam maybe at most gain a trade or just going down with the initiation. Mitosis, what I like what Mitosis is doing right away is they take out Sam, and then they just keep pushing their advantages even further, trying to find anybody else that they can collapse on, and then not too funny up has to then just completely restart from zero yet again each time.
I feel like just mentioning that, when you talk about like initiating fights, I kind of, since I also come from like a bit of a Valorant background as well, is that the way that everything plays is that you have different roles, despite all being kind of similar in like the way that you can play. Like in Valorant, you have an initiator, and like those are the guys where they can't find a lot of crucial picks, but they're the ones that really start fights, and you usually use them to really push in with everybody else. I feel like that's kind of what you want to do here, especially with the Viper. They are the ones that should be initiating the fights, but you really have to have somebody follow up with it. Like you have to have somebody following behind it, like say a shot or a zap or something, especially if the zap has cooler. That way, if the stamp does go down, they still have a lot of easy ways to push in, because they're going to come back. They're still going to have a lot of really, really good advantage there. So they're definitely going to have to figure out like ways to really let their Viper capitalize on things without really putting themselves at a lot of disadvantage.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the coach get to money up. He's gonna try to instill a little bit of confidence, just trying to get themselves refocused again, because they tried it again. You have the initiator there with Sam trying to find value with the Viper and the stamp each time. It worked in game 1, and then things just aren't quite there in games 2 and 3. I think Mitosis had a really good read onto them anytime they try to make that work. So now they just gotta realize, okay, we're being slowly figured out. What can we try to do differently there? As we saw as we see with this counter pick here from Dr. Funny Up, it is going to be Undertow Spillway Rainmaker. Maybe they have something planned out for that particular map combination. And also, another key thing too here, JK, is I don't think what I've seen so far throughout this entire set is very little in the way of weapon changes. I think most of it is going to boil down to is really just small playstyle differences or big moments with the respective weapons that ends up making a big difference overall in that map.
I feel like, just as I mentioned before going into the Brine Water game, it's I feel like with the way that teams play is that if it's not broke, do not fix it.
Yeah.
Because like if it works for you, then it's gonna keep working. Even if like you have some rough games, if you know that it has been a tried and true method, why would you really think about swapping it up? But even saying that, like you can have weapons that everybody feels comfortable with. I wonder if we're going to see something change up. Over on Mitosis, we do see something similar. We do see a ballpoint coming out from Deadwood is going to be a bit of a slight change up for Funny Up, especially on Rainmaker on this map. Like, you want to be able to get that Rainmaker pick first, especially considering Funny Up has a lot more bomb advantage than Mitosis right now.
That's a big thing there too, is just taking advantage of, as you mentioned, just the bombs, just trying to make sure you can get Mitosis kind of displaced a little bit, and then or maybe even find picks with those bombs is gonna be key. But at the same time, I like this change to the ballpoint. I think it takes place with the big strengths of Rainmakers. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if they can get that delivered here with the ballpoint itself. We do see, however, 2 down on both sides right away. Trizuka's just trying to find any other members that they could. Oh, the Trizuka on the other side, though. I think that was Neptune that was able to get the pick onto the Rainmaker there, if I'm not mistaken. And that push gets stalled. 3 points are only cashed in, so not really much of a push either way. And again, that Trizuka could have not came at a better time.
Something I thought was interesting is that we actually see Tommy swapping up from the Slosher. They're actually going onto the Splatter Shot now, which is definitely going to be pretty interesting. I believe with I wonder what exactly we're going to see coming out from both sides right now, especially on Funny Up. We do see the Jet getting some very good picks right now, but one is currently holding up on that right ramp. They're trying to really get that jump, but they're not going to really be able to find much. But we do see, I believe it was the Cooler coming out for the side of Mitosis or Funny Up. I'm not fully sure, but we do see one. We do see a Zuka battle coming out right now. It is going to be a Zuka trade. Two are currently going down on Mitosis. This has to be the advantage that Funny Up needs, especially 3 going down. This is the one that you need, especially considering that one is currently held up over on Snipe, over onto right pedestal. You got to take it right now, especially with that Cooler buff.
Yeah, Cooler being thrown a little bit further behind there, so hey, maybe a few extra seconds of time needed, but hey, maybe those few extra seconds may make the difference. Neptune quickly picks up that Rainmaker right away, and it looks like they are able to bring it down to 20 points remaining there, and I think that Rainmaker's not really in a great place to be repicked up for the contest, so they may just try to cut their losses here a bit. That's still a really solid push nevertheless, and again, Victory quickly goes down. Nacho Funny Up is looking to take full advantage of all the fights that they have been winning there. Yeah, that 3 down that was able to get the first checkpoint, and then some more is maybe turning themselves into possibly KO. No, all 3 members are down here, J King. It's 3 points remaining. That is almost effectively a KO that Mitosis is going to need in order to win this one. That's a really good push that Nacho Funny Up just had.
Yeah, that was an insanely good push, Keon. One thing I want to mention is that the way that Funny Up played, can we talk about how good that team fight was? As soon as the Jet was popped, the shot was pushing in, trying to find a lot of picks. Even if it wasn't able to do much, it was still applying pressure. Ooh, we do see 2 go down on the side of Mitosis. We do see the Zuka trying to find a pick there, but no, it is not able to. But Vic does go down. They're going to just really stop them. The ballpoint is just playing a bit interesting right now. They're kind of pushing back, but the Rainmaker is going to go down on the side of Mitosis. This definitely could be a very huge pick because at this point, Mitosis has to try and get a knockout. They can't really afford to just get a simple push here. They have to just get something so crucial right now. They have to just bolt it down.
So one of the things I need to note here too is that they gotta take full advantage of not just their specials, but just their entire comp that it works. You have the Slosher that can help play with range. They got basically a lot, like effectively they have 2 mid-range and then 2 very close quarters weapons to have to work with, and one of them being a Zap, which doesn't do much in the way of killing power at times. Really, if anything, just a glorified cooler special weapon, of course. So hey, Mitosis just has to find some of these picks, some of these angles to just work around and find Nacho Funny Up by surprise. But Nacho Funny Up is wanting to have none of that each go round. Ballpoint does go down though, but every time they lose one member each time they try to take another one from Nacho Funny Up. So Nacho Funny Up, I wouldn't be surprised if they just try to play this one patiently and make sure that Mitosis doesn't have a chance to respond. Rainmaker's gonna reset here, J King.
Yeah, this is definitely a very crucial point for Mitosis right now, especially considering that the Zap just went down. I don't know if the Zap had Cooler, but is going to see some strikes coming out, really trying to stall out. We do see one currently watching on the grates. The Wiper is currently watching right side. They have to try and get the checkpoint right now, especially considering Tommy is currently back on the splatter shot, but no, he's going to get taken out, but the ballpoint is currently watching over from Deadwood, but it is going to be a very good check right now. We're currently 1 down on the side of Funny Up. This is definitely going to be a very tight situation, especially with the Wiper currently being up on left. The Stuka shot is going to be able to find Sam. Very well played. 2 go down on Funny Up. This definitely could be the push that Mitosis needs right now.
Yeah, Mitosis is going to need this push at this stage of the game in order to get the Rainmaker in. Look at all the pain that they just had. And again, their comp is conducive to all the pain in the world. And they can lead, but not able to slam it home. 3 down already on the side of Nacho Funny Up here. J King, and now the rest of Mitosis should be able to collapse in here shortly. And they do lose 3 of their own. The Rainmaker, they're still desperately trying to slam this one home. But now Nacho Funny Up, not much time left on this clock. Tommy's just able to pick this up. Now, this might be a very slightly early pickup now, but they got to get the push that absolutely matters here. J Kane, they're moving up with this Rainmaker right now. Everybody on Nacho Funny Up, trying to spread around. Deadwood has to be there to help protect the Rainmaker. The goal is to protect the Rainmaker at all costs. Wiper's going to go down. 2 members have gone down on top of it, but the Rainmaker is dropped. And J King, that crucial moment, I think with the Zuka pick onto that top quarter, sealed it for Mitosis.
What in the world happened at that game? Like, as I said before, Mitosis, they must have heard me on the stream. I said bolt it down, and they absolutely did that. Like, what was that push? That was absolutely insane. Like, I think one of the absolute crucial points there was that insane Zuka shot coming out from Mitosis, which managed to get the Wiper down very early on, and because of that, it really gave them such a early push, because as soon as they were able to, like, get everything collapsing, like, one thing I did notice is that Vic, despite the Rainmaker still having a little bit of ways to push in, they were just getting so aggressive, just trying to find a lot of picks, and everything was just collapsing in on them, and they were just able to find a very good lead. So Mitosis, what in the world was that game?
That final push, as you mentioned, they just took full advantage of everything once they saw too. And again, what you need to do when you win a lot of those fights is just push your advantage each time. First checkpoint's down. All right, we gotta get ourselves set up for a fight around here. And if the Trizuka could find one more, that was gonna be enough because you mentioned the White were going down at a crucial moment. And that pick for the Trizuka, 2-down situation. 2 members had to spawn in. The rest of Mitosis was just collapsing all over the rest of Nacho Funny Up. And at that point in time, you're not able to slam it home, but that was effectively the game-winning push because Nacho Funny Up had to basically run that Rainmaker all the way back to the other side. And there was just not enough time left on the clock. They needed to win basically, I think, effectively 2 more fights to basically slam it home the other way. And then also you have to factor in the Rainmaker time that was left. That was huge from Mitosis at the end.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge. I feel like something else that might have contributed to, like, something going down there is that the Wiper was able to find one right at the end with that stamp, but it wasn't really able to find much, and everybody just started kind of collapsing, and then we saw them just get so aggressive onto the Rainmaker, just really getting him out. So, just overall, that was so insanely well played from both sides, and I just, like... I'm surprised my voice even was, like, going on that one. I thought everything was gonna just collapse at that point, but I'm not fully sure. But regardless, Keon, like, they played so insanely well, but that does not mean that Not Your Funny Up is out. They still have a chance in the 3rd place match, but I'm definitely curious to see what we're going to see coming in from, I believe it is going to be our final match for Gold Bracket, which is definitely going to be a pretty interesting one.
I think what we saw from Mitosis just after losing that first map, then resetting to win the next 3, they just running it back to win the next 3, and then all of a sudden to work with 2 opponent counter picks each time, trying to play almost similar strengths to their comps, and and at the same time probably trying to find weaknesses in Mitosis every time, whether they were playing from behind or not, was just able to take advantage each go round. And what I like out of Mitosis from that last matchup is, we can hey, if we take a multiple from your side, we're gonna just make sure that we can push that bench even further. They punish you each time you make a big error like that, and that is what ended up happening. So I am actually even more excited to see how these finals do play out.
Yeah, these finals are definitely going to be pretty insane, but with that being said, we're not actually going to go to a break. We're actually going to be jumping in very soon to our very last match, which is going to be very interesting. It is going to be Mitosis versus Chevy Octaho, which is going to be very interesting in my opinion, especially because, like, the Chevy Octaho is a team that we have not seen yet, I believe. But I believe they are it is Blue Velvet being coached by Honda Squiddick, which is still one of my absolute favorite team names, especially considering they're the team that they're coaching, which is definitely going to be a very fun match.
I'm gonna give shouts to just that team name itself, the Chevy Octaho 08, or I guess it's 8 at the end of it. But yeah, I mean, hey, it's Blue Velvet. This is a team I've also casted before. Also, if anybody's very familiar with Honda Squiddick as well, which I believe were low ink winners a couple months ago on top of it as well, the September edition, I believe. For Honda Squiddick, I just want to see how Chevy Octaho shows up against the team that we just saw from the previous matchup, the Mitosis. We kind of saw how Mitosis play. They take one, they take everything else with you. So honestly, J King, I'm basically had a loss of words myself. I want to know how this matchup gets played out here in these grand finals.
Keon, I firmly believe that with the way that the momentum is right now, I definitely believe that Mitosis is absolutely rolling. Like, as I said earlier with the snowball example, they basically, instead of throwing it, they just used both hands and shot that thing down the hill, and it is going to keep rolling. So I think going into this, I definitely think it's going to be interesting, but at the same time, Chevy Octaho did win their last set 3-0, so they definitely could also be rolling in some pretty high momentum at this point, but I feel like regardless of the momentum shift, or like whichever team goes in with both momentums, both teams have to be feeling really confident, but this first match I definitely think is going to decide a lot of it, which is going to be Hagglefish Zones.
Yeah, Hagglefish Zones, pretty much the map combo that gets seen a lot in other places there too. So I'm actually really excited to see how both teams want to approach it. And we saw Mitosis from the previous matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to just stick to what works here. Which, hey, you have the V-Shot, you have victories in their signature weapons in the Dually Sputters as well. So maybe they can continue with that crazy aggression that's very punishing team's playstyle that they want to throw at you. And it's not actually Hagelfish. That maybe we'll just swap the maps in front of y'all. It's actually gonna be Inkblot zones. No,
Whoops.
I read it as Hagelfish too. You're not the only one.
Speaking of that, I remember constantly getting this, like, I don't know if anybody else has ever gotten this, but anybody in chat, I'm not currently reading it, but anybody in chat, has anybody gotten the glitch where it, like, where you choose a certain map, but suddenly it tells you that, like, you suddenly got a different map? Like, I remember it happened to be twice in a row during a tournament one time. I chose a Clan Blitz map, and then, I think it was supposed to be Scorch Gorge, and then it showed a randomly different map, and I'm just like, why? Why is it doing this? Like, this is not the map I'm going to, and I'm just sitting here like, this should not be happening. Why are we doing this on screen? But
sometimes we have to. Sometimes we just have to do it live to just keep everybody on their toes. I'm sure everybody's just wanting to throw everything at us. It would be a very cursed timeline if they throw maps that we don't see regular playing. Mincemeat, Hammerhead, that fun. Those spicy maps that will never see the light of day in any other place we go to. But going back now to Inkblot Zones, very different map overall. Actually, I don't think a map combo that generally sees a lot of play. The last time I had to actually see one is probably like dating back to Riptide last month, which that's a long while back. So I want to see how both teams want to work with this particular map combination. Again, not a very common map mode, so hey, some prep work may have to be done here. In this case, but what is very true though, for a few is maybe they have seen Inkblot before. They're very familiar with Inkblot and how it plays out, so maybe they just want to try to tweak it a little bit to see how it would work for zones.
Definitely. I wonder if we're going to see any sort of tweaks, but we didn't see any in the last set, especially for Mitosis, so I feel like I wonder if just the way that they've been playing, they're probably going to keep going the same comp because, it's been working for them. But yeah. I feel like the thing with Inkblot is that compared to something like Tower or anything like that, or Clam, is that with zones, is that if you're able to get up onto left ramp or like get a jump over from top mid, if you're able to really control that and get over onto plat or bats, it's gonna do a lot. And the thing is, you can't necessarily get onto bats. It's a bit of a weird situation, so they really just have to try and find a lot of lockout potential.
Yeah, I think, and at this point, just Inkblot is home to definitely a lot of ways to lock out the other team. If you're able to take full cap of that zone, then just try to push your advantages there. Mitosis was able to show that in spades in the previous set overall. So if you're basically the Chevy Octahose, which I will still continue to laugh every time I say that team name, in that regard, I would like to see how Chevy is going to try to approach this map overall, and knowing how that's going to work. As we do see, hey, there is a picture of a Chevy. It exists. It's a sign. It's a sign here, J King.
It lives. But yeah, I feel like this is definitely going to be a pretty interesting. I believe they already played out the first match, so I believe that one actually did go to. I wonder if they actually did go ahead and play that out. But regardless of that, I believe we actually are having a bit of info. I believe we did not actually have the screen moved on that, but regardless, it's all good. But it seems like with Chevy Octaho currently having a bit of a momentum thing, as I was saying earlier, like they are currently 3-0 right now, and like over on their original set. I wonder if they're going to keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, and we did confirm behind the scenes. It is indeed a Chevy 1-0. So no, it was not a mystical or magical Chevy that just appeared on screen telling us to take the Chevy with us. No, it was indeed a 1-0. Bit of a small error, but sometimes these errors do happen. So we can only sympathize. We can only sympathize behind what's going on behind the scenes, if anything. So we now know that Chevy's 1-0. Now we gotta look at Mitosis. Mitosis is going back to, hey, this map may seem familiar from counter breaks from the previous match. JK, the script is starting to play out. Yeah, it's Museum Zone. So if it's anything like the previous set that we saw with Mitosis, it's probably going to be the exact same style. The difference now, obviously, is the opponent that they're working with. Chevy already won game 1, so maybe there are some adjustments that Mitosis wants to work with.
Yeah,
Or
I feel
excuse me,
like
Chevy
they're-
does.
I feel like they're probably going to try and go some adjustment. I'm not fully sure how that set played, especially like kind of when you were mentioning the Chevy just magically appearing. I just imagined it popping up saying, hey, we won that match, move on. So I wonder what exactly Mitosis is going to do here. I feel like, especially considering how quick it might have gone, I wonder if Chevy Octaho just, like, as I said earlier, they just really played a heavy lockout game and just made sure that they weren't really able to get in. But I feel like Museum is definitely a tried and true for Mitosis. So it worked last time. As I said before, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So they're probably going to keep doing it.
Yeah, and I think to your point, it probably was just a very quick game that there probably wasn't that much time for us to take a quick look at it. So no surprises here. Okay, so Chevy Octaho 0 it has 2 V shots. Yes, one of them's a shield shot, but I'm just gonna say it's the V shot for simplicity here. It's a double Trizuka comp with the cooler weapon being the NZAP. We've seen this a lot. It's almost everywhere across the board now. And on the other side for Mitosis, I think they're literally sticking to the same thing. So literally 3 mirrors. The only difference is 1 V shot versus custom ability sculptures. And the rest of Mitosis is done. Chevy already on the board with the zones, and they will get lead here shortly.
That was a very good triple coming out from the Slosher on Chevy right there. But I feel like the thing is, noticing Chevy's comp is that just like their car name implies, like a Tahoe is gonna hit like a truck. You gotta run it like a truck. So like you gotta run a comp that is going to be insanely strong, considering that they have 2 Zukas. I believe we're probably gonna see some of it come out now, but I'm not fully sure considering we do have 1 Zuka currently ready. Same with the Tri-Strike coming in, but we do see the strikes coming out for Mitosis, just really trying to stall it back. I believe we're going to see a lot of specials coming out here, especially on the side of Chevy right now. Ooh, they're going to try and get a jump in, a bit of a pick with that Zuka, but it's not really able to find much. Cake is going to be in a very interesting position. They're going to be able to find a pick onto the Slosher there to go down on Mitosis, but Mitosis still have a pretty big lead right now.
Yeah, we have Métis trying to drop all the way down, just trying to find the last Trizuka shot onto the other opponent, but not able to press the button right in time, and ends up going down quickly, which is able to get Mitosis down to 40 points remaining. And now Chevy has, out of those penalty points, these were not huge penalty points to begin with. So now Chevy's going to try to do the exact same strategy, I believe, trying to get those specials farmed up with those shots in tow, and then trying to get everybody else out of there. Mitosis is kind of being pressured out right now until Aries says no. It's a Trizuka shot that lands, and it takes out 2 right away. Cooler is available, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just hold on to that cooler for just a tiny bit more, waiting for the rest of the team to come back. And at this point, Mitosis they get the zones back nicely. Chevy Octaho still behind, but with a smaller deficit to work with.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of an interesting situation. We do see a pretty early strike coming out from the Slosher, which, you know, especially in a situation like this, you'd expect them to wait a little bit, but we do see Vic getting a very good pick onto the shot. It was trying to really just prevent that from popping the Zuka, but no, one is actually going to be able to find a very good pick over from Will, but they are going to be able to get the zone back into their possession. We do see the strike, the Zuka coming back out. I believe one of them is probably going to get a jump back out for Mitosis, just trying to keep the specials together, but Chevy Octaho does take it back into their control once again.
And at this point, it's literally just going to be a battle of execution, really, from both teams here. It's just who can find shots one after the other. There's that Trizuka shot. Takes out the Slosher right away, but it's actually going to be a bit of a trade. Trizuka and the Slosher does indeed trade by the end of it, and now we're going to get to see this brawl again. It's going to be a battle, since we're going to have 3 mirrors effectively. Who wins their respective side of the mirrors? And so far, Chevy Octaho shows up, but taking out 2, and now 3. It's delayed triple. This is going to be the lead change here, J King, and now Chevy Octaho's back in this one. With the lead being changed over, now Mitosis has to worry about getting the zones back right now, because those points are quickly going down. They're probably trying to play very patiently. They have only 1 V-Shot alive, but the Slosher is down on top of it, and if the Trizuka can't find anybody else, nobody will find any value for Mitosis, and Chevy Octaho wins the second map. J King, I believe it will be not just match point, it will be the entire tournament point coming up here for Chevy Octaho.
This is going to be a very, very crucial game coming out from Mitosis. This could be potentially the tournament victory here coming out from Chevy Octaho. But I feel like the thing that Chevy has been doing so well compared to Mitosis is that they are absolutely winning their team fights. Is that
yes?
The thing is, yes, you can find a lot of individual picks and find a lot of value out of it, but if like no one's really able to be there to really capitalize on it, it's not going to be able to do much. That's why team fights are so important. This is one thing I learned from a scrim that I did a little while back, is that even if you do get into a 2v1 situation and somebody gets traded out, just because you are both in a 3-man advantage, that does not mean you are at advantage. You still gave the opponent still has ways that they can push in. They have a lot more control in their field. So I feel like that is the thing that Chevy Octoho was absolutely taking control of there.
Absolutely, and hey, Chevy Octoho was just down by a bit, and they just needed to execute. Which comp was basically going to execute out of the mirror again. You had 3 weapons out of the 4 that were effectively the same on both sides. Only difference again, the dually squelchers versus the other Trizuka, and maybe that other Trizuka was going to get a lot more value. So in Chevy's side, they were able to execute that very cleanly. And now the counterpick for Mitosis is they're going back to 8-Bot Art Academy, just on a different mode this time. Tower control is going to be the choice here. Now, before I touch upon this third map here, J King, I want to highlight here. This is the last counterpick opportunity, I believe, that what am I trying to say here? That Mitosis is going to have. If Mitosis wins this one, the next counterpicks are going to be all on Chevy's end, and they can try to play to their strengths. So, if anything, Mitosis has an even bigger mountain to work with because they got to win not just their own counterpick, but the 2 upcoming counterpicks that Chevy's going to have. So that's how this entire set's going to have to play out for Mitosis.
Definitely, like, knowing that you have a whole counterpick situation is that, yes, you have a lot of modes that could work great for you. They may have worked great in the past, but at the same time, once you lose those counterpicks and everything, like, you get through them, what are you going to do once the enemy starts getting some pretty strong counterpicks that work heavily against you? It's like, I definitely wonder what we're going to see, especially coming out from both sides. But we are going to see some pretty similar comps coming out. I don't think we're going to see any changes. So I'm just very curious. Chevy is just keeping that heavy-hitting truck comp, as I said before. So they're just really making sure they're going to hit with some pretty big force.
Literally, it's going to come down to execution here, J King. It's really going to boil down to is who's going to land their Trizuka shots the most, who's going to get how are you going to use your specials in a way that give your team the advantage here. Again, both teams are having to understand that assignment as much as the other. You have one Trizuka that is available from Chevy Octoho as well, and also at the same time, don't get yourself caught in bad situations. Mitosis is slowly staggering out of the box here, and Chevy Octoho is going to show up. Hey, Will, with a nice little Trizuka shot from near point blank range, able to find somebody there. It is going to go down for their efforts, but that's not really going to matter too much here. J King, that's the first checkpoint already broken for Chevy Octoho.
Yo, and what in the world is happening? Like, that is like point-blank Zuka shot. Man just literally just decided to pull a SpongeBob, said, hi, how are you? And just directly got him. Like, in that situation, like, it's really hard to do much there. Like, you're in a bit of a spot. Like, you're trying to get back, but you gotta watch those flanks because if you're not ready, somebody's just gonna come in with the Zuka like that. But we do see 1 going down, 3 going down, actually, on the side of Chevy. And this definitely could be the pushback that Mitosis needs. I don't believe they're gonna have the technical buff as well. So I wonder what they're actually gonna do. Ooh, we do see Matey currently trying to get a bit of a flank here. I don't know if they're really gonna try and watch it. Mitosis has to be careful on that flank, but we do see 1 going down. I believe that is the flank coming in for them. We do see them getting very aggressive. We do see both Zukas coming out. They're going to be able to find 3 going down on the side of Mitosis. Just insanely strong Zuka shots. Just what in the world was that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things really to process there as well. Big thing, though, is that Mitosis was able to hold on defense and then try to convert that into offense, but then Chevy Octoho was like, no, not at all. We're not going to let you do that. And then they fired back swinging. And again, the special advantage, well, I was going to say that they had 2 specials in the wings, and then the shot replica went down on top of it. So again, Mitosis still decently able to hold there. Wow, I'm going to be able to speak words eventually. So we're going to get to see how Chevy Octoho tries to respond back with the defense of their own. The saucer did go down on top of it, but hey, the key thing that you got to use here, special coordination is going to need to be key, and your placing the coolers is going to be is also going to be just as important. On top of it, 1 Trizuka that was basically available from Chevy Octoho just went down, but Mitosis can't quite push up to their advantages. The rest of the time, Chevy Octoho is just not giving them any angles to work with at all for Mitosis to get a push started.
The thing that Chevy is playing so well here that I mentioned in the last point is that they are absolutely winning and just taking advantage of those team fights. And not only that, they're cycling their specials so well. Like, as soon as 1 goes down, the other comes up. As soon as 1 goes down, they charge it again. They charge it again. They are just making sure that those special cycles are constantly coming out, but we do see a bit of an interesting situation. The Slasher is able to find a pick over onto the shot for Mitosis, but it's definitely going to be a bit of a tight situation. 2 getting a pretty aggressive over on left stack right now, but it's unfortunately not going to be able to do much for Mitosis. Ooh, Jake is going to get very aggressive, but is going to get taken out by the bomb.
Yeah, and the rogue bomb is gonna again. This entire fight around mid is really gonna boil down to who gets control and who's able to push their advantages the most. And we can see this back and forth, these back and forth fights happening on both sides of the map. But again, Chef Otto with the points that they have, they're gonna be happy to take any advantages that they can, whether it's gonna be a trade or just getting any control of the map. That's what's gonna matter the most. And what I want to note here too, both teams kind of just almost equaled out in pain as much as possible. So really, is going to boil down. What is going to really matter here in the tail end of this game is special coordination. So make sure that you use your specials in ways that will give you advantage right now. Mitosis does have the first checkpoint broken right away, but it looks like Chevy Ataho might have just held him off for a tiny bit. I think just trying to play this one a little patiently there, but there's two members that went down delayed double. Now the rest of the team is effectively out of the picture. Full wipeout to there. J King, Mitosis only gets the first checkpoint out of it.
Yo, this is just a very, very tight situation. We already do see Matey going down on the side of Chevy, but it is going to be 45 seconds left. It is such a tight situation, especially considering they have the cooler buff. Will is able to get a very good pick with that Zuka over on Bats. He is just getting very aggressive. They're going to try and find another pick over onto the left ramp right now, especially on that tower. They're trying to get back. It is going to be 30 seconds left on the clock. It is going to be such a tight situation, especially if they can get a Zuka ready back up. In just a second, we do see the hero shot does have one at the ready. This definitely could be crucial. Will is going to try and get aggressive. No, they're not going to be able to find two. Two go down on the side of Mitosis. It is going to be a very crucial pick here, but Matey has to be careful considering that they do have the shot, considering they do have the Zuka. They're going to have to try and play safe and ensure they have that for retake. We do see all the specials coming out. We do see this Tri-Zuka coming out. I mean, the Tri-Strike. We do see the Zuka coming out. Matey's going to try and find one. Isn't going to be able to find any. No, he's not going to be able to find any from the Zuka, but the strikes are going to come in. This could be GG for them, and it is going to be the game for Chevy Octo there.
Wow, yeah, that would got a little interesting there right at the end, and I muttered the words, how did the Tri-Zuka not find anybody at the tower? That was insanely wild, but Chevy Ataho was able to get Mitosis out of the tower area entirely in that final push. Things were just kind of just going back and forth when it mattered, but what Chevy Ataho needed was just any sort of control. They had a decent lead, and with the way tower control plays out, you have to be based on where that tower is placed in the last 30 or so seconds, the other team falling behind. In this case, Mitosis has to wrestle that tower back into your territory, which means you have to you have to take advantage on fights consecutive times, one after the other. And yeah, Mitosis just was able to do just that. It's just great discipline play from Chevy Otto to make it all work, and also Tri-Strikes to make sure that nobody could be on the tower, let alone on that. It was basically enough to just enough for one member from Chevy's end to just touch the tower. That is how Chevy wins grand finals here, J King.
Yeah, they absolutely played that so well. Like, they had the momentum rolling in from the previous set, and just absolutely just making sure that like, they made sure that they didn't really have anything going on. Like, they made sure to really win so many team fights. And I think that was the thing that really set them apart in that entire match, is that those team fights and those special cycles were so well played. They really held up to the specials at the crucial times, but making sure not to pop all of them at once. They had to try and make sure that they are constantly on their toes whenever using them. Like, as soon as we saw one Zuka go down, one was not far after it. So, like, the way that they were playing was just so insanely well played from both sides there. But ultimately, Chevy Octaho just playing that so well.
Just a quick note on both teams there. Mitosis coming from the previous set, just rolled to the next 3 zone, then just got woken up by the Chevy truck that was just ready to go right at him. I think but what I wanted to note there too is that they stuck to basically something that just worked the entire way through J King, and it just and at that point in time, Mitosis just didn't have any answers for the team that had 2 Tri-Zukas, the cooler, and as you mentioned, just cycled out those specials really well. So I mean, I'll give a lot of credit to Mitosis. They played to their heart's content in that grand finals. But hey, Chevy Otto coming out with the victory there, and I think we do have the captain of the winning team, really the coach of the who helped captain the winning team here as well.
Hello.
Yeah. It is definitely an honor to meet you, especially considering how your team went. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Cash, captain of Honda Squidic. I was here throughout the entire tournament for Chevy Octo. All I can say is, well, scheduling was a bit difficult because the one time we coached them was literally last night, but you know, Sencon managed to save us. and, th- and honestly, yeah, we only lost one set throughout the entire tournament, which was, I don't know. It was kind of disappointing to see them lose, but they managed to get it together and like sweep the entire tournament after that.
I was about to say, regardless of that loss, what was your overall thoughts going in? Like, did you feel really confident with your team? Like, especially how they played in a few of those final sets?
Oh yeah, I was like, damn, they're like, I want to say that, I wanted to say that they're like just as good as us, but you know, hopefully they sweep the 5.
I'll ask a quick question here. For the calendar. I mean, like for your team to just be able to just show up in this grand final set, just taking this one like 3-0. Like I'd imagine, like how did it feel? Like just as you mentioned, is like how did it feel to just be on the coach and just being able to coach through? I believe Blue Velvet was the team in question. How did it feel throughout this entire experience? Coaching this team and having them win this tournament overall.
It was very fun to watch them, even though they managed to make a few unfortunate plays that stopped them from KOing. But yeah, it was just fun to watch them, and they have like great chemistry with each other. So
I was definitely noticing that throughout the entire match, is that it definitely felt like they were constantly like in tune with each other. It felt like they were able to follow up on a lot of team fights and really play them together. So like just seeing that from a glance, it seems like you guys did an absolutely insane job of getting them ready for this tournament, and it was an absolute blast to watch.
thank you.
But yeah, Cone, do you have any other questions you'd like to ask?
I mean, I would just want to talk through, just talk through, really quickly here because hey, Blue Velvet, the team that of course representing Chevy Octaho in that grand finals matchup. We didn't get the chance to see how this entire bracket played out. John, real quick, with the ones that they lost, was that in groups if I'm not mistaken? Or was that
Yeah, it was the first match in groups to please Gold.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just looking this up real quickly here. Yeah, they won one. I think they only dropped. Yeah, I just saw this right now. Like they've only dropped just the one map, and that was on the very first round, and just rolled. They just rolled through like 6 straight games. Like did you get the sense that there wasn't that much concern despite losing just that map from the first set overall? Do you feel like the team was kind of, they were just absolutely rolling with the way the team's been playing?
Yeah, they managed to just like get themselves together, especially after like when they were 1-1 versus Please Fold, and during game 3 they just staggered a lot. So it was like the main issue during the entire match. So I just told them like, you guys just staggered a lot, and then they just managed to sweep through the rest.
Yeah, they definitely played like so strong, especially getting a lot of sweeps pretty quickly. I was gonna say, with the way that they played, do you think that they definitely really knew, like, especially with some of the counter picks, do you think that the counter picks were like practiced pretty well, especially considering like how they managed to adapt on something like Museum and Inkblot Tower?
Yeah, I would say those were like, I don't know, when I was watching them, those were like the strongest maps they had. So I was like, wow. The counter picks were just like in their favor.
Interesting. So it seems like the counter picks definitely did work in their favor, despite them not picking the counter picks. But regardless, they definitely showed like why they won the tournament, and just they played absolutely insanely. So it was definitely a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think I just only had the one comment of like, yeah, just seeing how this team just played their hearts out, just playing very disciplined. I think what he did, what he got them to do coaching wise, I think it really started to show like throughout this entire tournament. And as I alluded to earlier, they only dropping the one map in that first, and then just rolling through the rest. I mean, that was just excellent to watch, really out of the team you coach there, and it was just excellent watching the team play. So hey, it was just great to see them play this one on. Whatever you did, it was excellent coaching overall. So a lot of credit to you.
Thanks.
But yeah, Cash, with that being said, where can everybody watching the stream find you and Honda Squiddick as well, along with Blue Velvet?
You could find me on Twitter as ClipFun12, Honda Squidic. The Honda Squidic is just it's at, and we do tend to post a lot of memes on it, so be wary of that. I don't even know Blue Velvet's Twitter,
Gotcha, but not a problem at
but
all.
yeah, but Matey streamed their entire run on
Interesting.
Twitch.
Definitely. I
Uh,
bet it's very interesting to see it from their perspective. So
yeah, the Twitch name is Manus T.
gotcha. What was that again?
Maynith T.
Gotcha.
Maynith.
Gotcha. For everybody who was watching the stream, definitely go show them some love. Show everybody some love that played in this tournament. Everybody absolutely played their hearts out. But Cash, we definitely very much appreciate you coming in, giving your thoughts, and congratulations to you and Blue Velvet and Honda Squidig for the win in this tournament.
Thank you for hosting the tournament. It was fun.
Definitely. But with that being said, I believe we're going to go ahead and sign off very soon. But if you guys want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at JakingCast or at Jaking the VA for some of my VA stuff. But yeah, I've been Jaking.
Yep. Yep, and I'm Kill, which by the way, real quickly on the plug, TV at Twitch.tv, Twitter and Blue Sky, Kill2570, nonsense on Twitter and Blue Sky, variety on my Twitch now, so you can find me there. So yeah, I'm Kill as well, Jaking.
All right, and with that being said, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It was an absolute blast to be able to commentate this. But yeah, definitely make sure to stay tuned for Inkling Development Program for what they got cooking up later. So yeah, thank you guys so much for having us, and we will see you all in the next tournament.